A Graceland. Hey, it's the Bennington Show on what I'm now learning from science is a Thursday. And Stanley, what kind of Thursday is that when it's Thursday?
Thirsty Thursday, bros.
Okay, so that means you drink as much as you do on the other days?
Yes. Well, because there's Thirsty Thursdays, Fun Fridays, Wines Day. I'm going to say...
2 and all Tuesdays?
2 and all Tequila Tuesdays. Mezcal Mondays.
You know,
and the weekend's the weekend.
Dr. Oz is doing a big expose today about the, I believe, 36 million problem drinkers. You're not necessarily an alcoholic, but you're heading there. You're a problem drinker.
Isn't that an alcoholic? A problem drinker?
Yes.
I'm part of the problem drinker army. 36 million strong, bro.
Oh, yeah. It's known as apparently every football fan you've ever seen at a stadium. They're all problem drinkers. But anyway, he's blown up because now it's holiday time. And he's saying that anything more than an ounce and I believe a half of alcohol a day is too much.
I think I'd be more weirded out by the person who perfectly proportions an ounce of alcohol a day.
That I would call a problem drinker, to tell you the truth. That would be a problem drinker.
I allot myself 1 ounce, and I've got everything under control.
Or can you just save them up and then do them all on a fucking Saturday night?
Oh, yeah, that's a type of personality.
Oh,
Squirrel drinker.
I feel like
squirreling it away.
Chris, I feel like you're a little squirrely with your drinking at times.
No, he drinks all the time. Just because he keeps the liquor in his cheeks doesn't make him a squirrel drinker. That's just lazy. Gail Bennington, and well, damn it, you're so excited today because you just had a wonderful hall moment.
I cannot believe the hall moment I just had. In the hall, I learned the teaches of Peaches. I just bumped into Peaches in the hallway, and I'm freaking out about it. We took a lovely picture together, and I'm very pleased.
You should tweet.
I'm going to tweet it.
Today should be a Peaches tweet day. Gail Bennington last night did her first big gig. Joey Jojo did his very first big gig. Then Perlman, who is a gig master, did his first big gig with us. Chris Stanley did his first gig as the new Chris Stanley.
Yeah.
New and improved.
Every other gig, Chris Stanley has been roundly ignored for 8 years. And last night was treated like a rock god.
I felt like a rock guy last night. It was amazing.
There were very few audiences in the history of planet Earth that were as good as the ones last night. And we will, we'll get to all those stories. All right, someone just wrote, "Who's Peaches?" Oh, checking out my titties like you
want
want
him, calling me all the time like Blondie. Check out my Chrissy Baham and find all of the time.
She, that of course is from Lost in Translation.
Yes, that was in that movie.
Bill Murray was very uncomfortable as that song was playing, and he was in some kind of futuristic titty bar.
Mm-hmm.
What do you, right here, Al has a question. Al, go ahead.
Hey, guys. Good, interesting musical choice. We took a musical road trip last month, New Orleans, Memphis, and Nashville. But we stopped in Tupelo. I wondered if you ever stopped in his birthplace, Elvis's birthplace in Tupelo. That was really neat and worth the price of admission.
What was the price of admission to see that old tarp fucking roof shack that he grew up in?
Well, they have a church there, and they recreate a Pentecostal church service with all the hymns, and I thought that was really cool.
Wait, how is that not church? If you're actually doing the hymns and you're inside the church, how did that become a recreation? That should just be church.
It was cool. I love the old hymns and stuff. Like I grew up with that as a kid, and it was really cool. Also met Wanda Jackson's fiddle player in Nashville, which is also awesome. I know Gail's a fan of her. So anyway,
yeah.
But here's the thing: when you're in Memphis, the Reverend Al has services that you can go to, and I think you kind of go upstairs, and the rest of the people are in the seats, and it's just amazing.
I'm dying to do that one day. I would love to do that.
Memphis, very cool.
But I'll tell you this: during the service, don't keep yelling out, "Tired of being alone," hoping that he'll do it because it apparently makes a lot of people mad. What's this shit you're singing now? Where's the hits?
Give me what I want.
Hurry! I want every hit from the Greatest Hit album. Army Man wants his 70s soul.
It's all I need, baby.
So, you're sending out your Peaches pictures?
I am doing it right now.
SIS, stay in school, cause it's the best. IUD, SIS, stay in school, cause it's the best. IUD, SIS, stay in school.
Did you send it to your mom?
Yes, I did.
What'd she say?
She hasn't wrote back yet.
Oh. Yeah. There it is. She's a sexy little thing, huh?
She's sexy as shit.
Hell yeah.
Who was she in here?
What?
How do we not know about this, Chris? When Peaches shows.
I didn't see Peaches on the list.
Well, you got to start talking to people.
I have to interact with humans. I mean, that's my problem.
You know what? Let's take you out of that and put one of the other guys in. You're not an interactive type guy. That's not your thing. We're going to play to the strengths of everybody. Last night proved that. When we play to our strengths, we fucking, we're a playoff team. Let's face it. We're a fucking playoff team.
Everybody was rock gods.
Yeah.
I mean, it was pretty crazy.
It's true. They were just going crazy for everybody. And let's just say this when we're talking about rock gods. Hard Rock Johnny?
Oh my God, Hard Rock Johnny.
Hard Rock God Johnny. That's what I like to call him now.
I like that. I like Hard Rock God Johnny.
Hard Rock God Johnny. It was a little weirder when you put the emphasis.
Well, you could just call him Hard Cock God Johnny.
Hard as a rock God Johnny.
As solid as a rock.
Johnny, are you queer boy?
Hey, Johnny. Are you
It's pretty good.
Johnny!
That could have been in our esoteric impressions contest. That we had. That'll be something we do in the future because that was a blast.
It was so much fun.
Yeah, then I milked the audience like a fucking dog. And it was fucking pathetic.
Loved it.
We're doing 7 to 10 on Opie Radio tomorrow. I heard from some people who flew into town, stopping by, that you told them that we're too busy to have them in. Shrekalov has got to come in.
Okay, Shrekalov will come in.
Andy from Cleveland has got to come in. Bring him in during the Opie radio show.
Well, Andy in Cleveland's already back in Cleveland, actually. I was talking to him. He was in and out. He came in yesterday, out today.
He said that you told him that you were way too busy.
I received a beautiful gift from everyone you mentioned, by the way. Andy from Cleveland wrote me a really funny card that said, I hope that you don't find this gift sexist. And it was like a Sephora gift card because he didn't know what to give me.
That's very sweet.
And it was so sweet.
That's very sweet.
I love makeup. You know that I do, Andy.
Got a bottle of bourbon from my dog, Andy.
And I'm wearing, you can't see it because my hair is covering it, but I'm wearing Shrekalov's gift to me in the picture with Peaches. I'm wearing it right now, and I'm obsessed with this necklace.
Did you tweet out your...
I did. It's out in the world for those who want to check it out.
What is your Twitter tweet?
It's at Gailan, AAA, double N. I'm a triple A, thinking double N. I'm only triple A, but I'm thinking double N.
Look at that badass picture.
It's a fucking badass picture.
She's something, man. She's got whatever the fuck, She's got a whatever the fuck thing going on.
She has a whatever the fuck thing going on. I went to her show a couple weeks ago. I know she's touring around. I don't know where she is, but if she is near you, run to her because that show was phenomenal and crazy.
Now, did you sit in your seat or dance?
I was dancing. But there was this amazing moment where in the middle of one of her songs, this giant inflatable kind of translucent phallus, like started to stretch out from the stage and like go across the audience. And so everyone was kind of like holding it up, and it was like this kind of weird tubular phallic thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden I'm like, holy shit, she's climbing through it. So she's like essentially crowd surfing, but she's inside this like tube, and everyone's like grabbing at her, and she's like in this weird plastic tube. It was crazy.
I feel like I could suffocate in that tube.
She was dancing in there. She was dancing in the tube
Without air.
She's a rock god. That's why.
She's on a European tour. So if you're in Europe, hit up Peaches.
Is that where she was today, Europe? I'm going to bring up another rock guy, young Don Wicklund, who, went all out for us last night.
He did. He really did. He's a rock god.
He is a rock god, but let's talk to the rock godiest of rock gods who got an enormous amount of pop from the audience. Hard rock god Johnny. Johnny.
Benningtons.
What's up, Johnny?
Hello, Benningtons.
What a ball last night was.
Fucking greatest night I've had here ever.
I think it was. I think it was much better than your giant concerts that you produced with Bruce Springsteen and The Who. And
Better than that?
Much better.
From a personal experience, I would agree with you 100%. I don't care what anyone else says.
I like it. Johnny also had us up in one of the most amazing places in New York, up on top of the marquee, which is just the floor, but you're above everything in Times Square, surrounded by lights. You guys have never done it before?
Never.
That was so insane.
That's something I'll never forget. That was just fucking mind-blowing.
Now, Johnny had me up there years ago where we had to step over, and now he has it all nice where you could actually have a party up there, But the first time he took me out there, I remember we stepped through a window.
Oh, shit.
I know, I was stepping over like air conditioners and shit. And, this is the funniest thing. So we go, it's an unbelievable experience. Then I go down to the green room to pick up the comics to take them down. And I go, dude, we were just up on the marquee. And they're like, yeah, I know. We were watching on Periscope. I'm like, oh, shit, yeah. Higgs Periscope, the whole thing.
Scope wrote it up. It was nice. And then some guy attacked my arm.
So the best part of the scope was poor Chris, his jacket's fallen off, and we get the attention of a passerby, and he helps Chris. He puts his jacket on his injured arm and then punches him in the shoulder.
What a dick. He gives me a goddamn giant, hard shoulder slap.
Could you hear the laugh from our section? We went crazy.
Yeah.
This is the other thing. So we're having, seriously, the gig of a lifetime, and some of the stuff worked out to be so much fun that I couldn't even believe it. And then I go walking out into the air, take a last look at, the beautiful signage that Johnny gave us on the marquee of the club. And Earl is out there. And then Earl goes like this. Hey, kind of weird out here tonight, huh? And I'm like, what are you talking about? He goes, look at all these cops. And there's like 1,000 cops, right? 1,000 fucking cops. I'm not even making up that number.
Holy fuck.
And in the middle of them, the mayor and fucking Bratton come walking out and do a TV thing.
What?
Because ISIS had put up a fucking video, and there was a shot of Times Square. It was literally a close-up of Johnny, where underneath it, saying, we're going to get him. And I'm like, this is we're going from having the greatest time of our life to and they're all saying, we will not back down. We're keeping Times Square safe. I mean, first of all, it was like a USO show out there with the amount of armed people that you had. It was crazy. Automatic weapons. And those guys are staying, Johnny, in Times Square?
Yeah, I was just out there with talking to a couple of the cops that we work with on a daily basis here, and they're not leaving. They're going to be out there, and I tell you, it was crazy because I got home just in time for this thing to start, and literally it was a worldwide press conference.
Yeah,
with the mayor and the police commissioner just saying, "Come on, we're here walking around. You can too." I mean, it's
yeah, but you're surrounded by 1,000 cops. It's a really nice night for you guys to be at. I'll go anywhere with 1,000 cops.
right now, if you go out there, there's probably, I would say, 15 different news vans with their, and that's I just, stop with all the news coverage. Leave them alone.
I know. Leave the news coverage out of this.
It's horrible.
Yeah, because they actually scared my parents. My parents like, are you okay up there? I go, I'm pretty far from Paris. Yeah, but, you're next. I go, I'm not.
I'm up on the marquee. I'm away from everything. I'm fine.
Dude, that fucking whole experience was just so much fun, and it just blew everybody away. But the energy in that room that you have is just so perfectly set up to do that. And that place was exploding last night.
Yeah.
It was the audience that I said this to you guys. It was great when you brought up what was going to happen next. The audience knew exactly what it was going to be. They jumped on it. They loved it. It was like the whole night just seemed like they were just so in tune with what you guys were doing.
This was the other thing I'll never forget too. I'm like, okay, coming up next, we're going to bring out some comedians. You guys want to know who it is? And they're like, no. No, we'll eat our turkey dinner and then surprise us.
Surprise! They yell.
By the way, the amount of people saying how much they loved your food, and then the comics saying how much they love your flatbread. Johnny, you were the fucking belle of the ball last night.
No, you guys were the belle of the ball. I was just there to help you. It was amazing. It was great.
The New Yorker is right. You are the finest fucking person. The New Yorker fucking mentions him.
That was the weirdest thing to be. Someone called you. You're in the New Yorker.
I'm buddies with a guy who's in the New Yorker, so boom.
But I was identified as a man with a goatee and a skull ring. That's the best they could do for me. We were approached by a man with a goatee and a skull ring.
Johnny, that's the only way I knew you the first 7 years that we were friends. I go, oh, the guy with the goatee and the skull ring. Yeah.
Skull ring's going to be there? Cool.
People call me Scully for short.
Sweet.
Oh,
I like
that's a
that
good
name.
nickname.
I like that name for you. Well, Johnny, we gotta think of ways to top it.
We could. We definitely could.
So we're coming back for Thanksgiving again next year, right?
Sure. We could do some stuff between now and then. I mean, we have a year to do other things if you'd like.
Johnny was all pumped up and bringing up different ideas. And I'm like, okay, everybody wants to know what's next. Why can't I just dance a little bit? Dance backwards, celebrate. I don't think those are the actual words from it.
No, but you got the gist of it perfectly.
Yeah. I was the butterscotch stallion for just a few moments. All right, Johnny, I'll talk to you later, buddy.
Later, kids.
Peace. Johnny, treat us like kings. The Terabang had set up the stuff for the comics too, so the green room was delicious.
Yes.
Comfortable. And he's got couches where I felt like not going back. I'm like, hey, I'm surrounded by all these funny guys. Why don't we just stay here? Have some chocolate, couple pretzels, scope a little bit.
Hell yeah, scope it up.
Well, Gail had an idea last night. Why don't we just scope and play it on the TVs in the other room? And I go, because they would kill us. It would work great for us.
No, they'd love it. They'd love it, I'm sure.
I flew here. Richie, Canada.
Hey, how you doing?
Good.
I got to say, the performance last night was fantastic, and as I do every day, I got up at 5 in the morning to check out Scope Bro, and the scopes are absolutely fantastic. As a guy who comes from the originator Hard Rock Cafe and can never get into your fine country again, you really made it feel like we were right there. The comics were great. Rich Voss was really funny in the background. Joey Jojo did a pretty good job. He shouldn't have recycled that soul joke, but other than that,
that's Joey. That's Joey. He does, he's got a lot of used material. But Richie, why can't you come into the United States?
I have a similar past to yours. Like when you tell your stories, your drug-fueled stories about your teenage days, I'm in the same era, and it's zero tolerance for people who used to behave like me.
But you know what? I'd like to go and see what if I could do to help you out. Like I would honestly go there and sign for you.
Make a run for the border, bro.
Hey, listen, I'd settle for a Bennington shirt. Little R.G. Bennington is doing fantastic, by the way.
Oh, glad to hear it.
Good news.
You saw your dad the picture? Dale?
I did, yes. He's growing up well.
So can I ask Chris one little favor?
Yep.
Chris, on the scopes, buddy.
Yeah.
I don't know what you can see, if it's what I see, but all those comments coming up, I want you to shut these guys down talking about Gail's pussy and ass and mouth and correct these guys. That's your little sister.
Jesus Christ. I ignored that.
I didn't even know that was happening, Chris.
Chris, why are you not protecting my ass and my pussy, please?
And mouth.
You know that's your,
Don't forget your mouth.
you know that's your
Chris.
job.
They love you. It's not your fault.
All right, everybody, Scope Bro, stop talking about Gail's pussy and ass.
Why don't you just ban them like people do?
I'm gonna fucking lay down the Scope Bro
I
ban
don't know because I don't read along. You're the guy holding the phone.
They scroll so fast. Sometimes I'll see like the word pussy or the word ass. I just assume they're calling me a pussy. But sometimes I guess they're talking about Gail's pussy.
Everyone stop saying the phrase Gail's pussy.
I know.
Please.
It's not everybody. It's him.
Please stop saying
I don't want to say
it. Let me just tell you this. He gave away a little bit, but we did something called Comedy 101, Tell a Joke or Be a Joke. It's been an idea that's been festering for some time.
Mm-hmm.
We didn't know how it would work. Here's what happened. It's kind of a roast and an open mic night at the same time. The entire band went out and got us 4 killer comedians. Danny Pearl's Pearl Man went out and got us some of the best and brightest young open micers, some of them less than 6 months. They ran the comedy gauntlet. They came out, performed. There were bells, and any of the mentors could stop and assist them and move on. Let me go through the list of mentors. Luis J. Gomez, rock god.
Rock God.
Rock God.
And was
Rock god.
treated as such. Okay?
He got the love he deserves.
Joe List, rock god.
Rock God.
Rock
God.
Every line that he had. I mean, talk about a fucking comedy sniper. He'd put in one line calmly. You know, these other guys are throwing bell. He'd put in a line and basically get an applause break on it every time. You know, I'll just say this: box of boxes. That's legendary from this point on.
There was a chant of just Joe.
Yeah. Dan Soder, rock god.
Rock God.
Rock
God.
God.
They went crazy for him last night. And then the comedy Don, you know, the man who basically is the Don of New York City crowd work, Rich Voss, rock god.
Rock God.
Rock God.
Rock God.
I can say this and mean it. If I made a list of my all-time favorite comedians, I don't care how long the list would be, Voss is on that list because no one thinks like him. He doesn't say a single thing that another funny person would come up with. All his stuff is crazy original.
It's very true.
He was a rock god last night. Unbelievable. 4 rock gods come out. 6 comedians that Dan Perlman brought in. And Dan, let me say this, as a curator, that was just a kissing sound as I took my fingers and put them out. That was tasty. You know what I mean? That was tasty.
I was very proud of them.
You should be. Phil, I never wanted to make it a contest.
Yes.
Luis J. Gomez, who someone has to tap out in every fucking element of his life.
Yes. He's competitive.
He's crazy competitive. He'd still be punching Ronda Rousey if it was up to him. He demanded that the audience pick one who is now invited on Voss and Bonnie's show. They went for Phil.
I'm so proud of Phil. Phil was my personal favorite and always has been. And he didn't even do some of my favorite jokes of his.
Well, he didn't know where the fuck he was. He had what I call a Joey Jojo moment of big saucer-eyed, not remembering any of the material. But that's hard when you have 3 minutes to remember. Who is going to recall your own comedy when you've got 3 minutes to do?
It's 180 seconds.
He was doing a lot of looking around. It was like an alien. He was just put on Earth and he was just absorbing the surroundings.
He's amazing.
Unbelievable.
Now, I was told that some of the Scope Bros said, when is he going back to sing for Journey? Which may have been a better fucking line than anyone in the room did. But he shut the mentors down a little bit because they didn't even know where to go with this.
Nope, nobody knows what to do with Phil. People who run clubs, he comes in, he strokes his long hair, he just paces around nervously. People are scared of him. They don't know what to make of him. But he got up there and crushed.
He did a great job.
Remember when Joe Les just won at the end of his joke? Like, please, please, I'm dying. Stop interrupting. I want to know where this is going. And I'll just say this, too, because they did shoot this on Periscope last night. When it comes to Phil, the Indian, Filipino kind of shaman, you know what I mean? Like, he has a foot in each dimension. I'll just say this to the Scope Bros. Don't bring up his pussy, asshole, or mouth.
No, please don't.
Don't.
Chris, it's your job to protect the pussies and asses and mouths of your coworkers, and you know that. When
Phil came on stage last night, I don't know if anyone saw me, I was petrified because I thought it was the Indian from Fargo. And I'm like, this motherfucker can't be stopped. He killed one of those tracker. He killed one of those crazy twins. And then he fucking cut off Brad Garrett's head. Careful with this guy. That was amazing. I mean, Dan, you and I talked about that show. We basically each, I gave you the full thing to find the act. You said, should I play? I want to play them for me. I'm like, no, I want to say it live. I'm going to trust you. He had 8. 2 fucking parachuted out of the plane. And they made a giant mistake. You know what I mean?
Huge mistake.
Because I talked to all those kids after, and they were fucking thrilled.
I've been getting messages from them up until 5 minutes ago. They're still messaging me, thanking me for the amazing opportunity. They loved it.
I'm going to, you know what I'm going to do? I know the iBang is going to write it up. I'm going to get some of the names so maybe some of them can be interviewed. Not so much Phil. But
Phil's the one who I want to know the most about. He has got the most unexplained.
Get to the end of that, you know what I mean?
There's
as Gail put it, he's a tracker. He could sit down and just taste the fucking buffalo shit and know how long ago it's been there. That's 17 minutes old. Have you stopped tweeting your friends your fucking peaches? I just see you just fucking texting people your peaches.
I'm getting texts back from my mom and other people that I sent it to.
Oh yeah, you went to the Peaches show with your mom.
Yes, I let her know that as well, and she was amazed by this fact.
Peaches?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like, "Did you like it?"
Yeah.
It's like, yeah.
Some families are strange, Peaches. Don't think you're fucking shaking us anyway, all right? We'll take you on a weird fucking run without posing, okay? But those comics, the first one who came up, tell me his name.
Jerry Lolly.
When you, the king, Jerry Lolly,
Yes.
Everybody loves him. But when you open with, wow, there's a lot of people here, I think it's giving away your power. That's just my own personal thing. I realize that this isn't a bar show in Far Rockaway. You know what I mean? I understand you're, at the crossroads of the world, but you got to retain that. So all these guys, fresh, new, open mic comedians who went up there and got mentorship from, as we said, probably 90 years of comedy experience from those judges.
It's a great opportunity. And I feel like I watched them grow before my eyes.
I also felt like I saw the mentors grow.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Like they took something from them, from their innocence and purity, their starry eyes.
Rich Voss grabbed me by the head and just went, "I'm changed."
You've given me life again.
Yeah. So that was just, that was as funny as a show as you could get. Mark Zito actually said to me, he goes, "This is all I do, and this is the best Sirius XM thing I've ever been to in my life." He says,
"That's so cool."
He said, "I just text my chick that we have to listen to it both days that it's on. We're running this Thanksgiving Day, and that's for as we like to say, and as the great 70s yacht group America said, for the lonely people, that aren't together with anybody on Thanksgiving.
Sure.
You'll have it with us. But then we were going to run it again on Black Friday, the only Friday of the year that celebrates African Americans and what they've given to this country.
It's beautiful. I'm so glad we did that.
Well, you know what? It's post-racism world. I learned that from the 1,000 cops last night. 1,000 white cops standing in Times Square. So, I mean, it couldn't have went any better. It could not have gone any better at all.
It was a fucking blast.
There were some, there was, slight tensions that went through the night. One of, I think Vagina Boy tried to get into the comics green room and was thrown out immediately by Louis J. Gomez, who screamed at him, "Get the fuck out of here. This is our green room." And the kid had to run down the hall as fast as he could. But he just wanted to thank some people. And by the way, we told them that they had to stay apart before the show.
Yes.
This was after the show. So Louis J. Gomez might have overreacted a little bit. Vagina Boy was a scream, and people
loved him. Grant Lindahl, that's his name.
And then the young lady,
Rachel Joan.
Yeah.
She, and it got brought up by different mentors, has actual timing and some, green but hopeful material for a new person.
She did very well. I was very excited. And she handled the sexual harassment beautifully.
That's what Gail called it. I don't know if I would agree with that.
A little bit, almost better than Phil.
There are a number of people who wanted to take Phil home and have sex with him. What are you going to do? Phil just brings that out in people.
He's so beautiful. He transcends everything.
That hair.
Gender, race, time and space.
I think that you're into something here. I think he's an ancient man who's come here to teach us eternal truths, that maybe we've forgotten. We know it on a cellular level, but we've let it go thanks to this technocracy. You have your smartphones. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to sit around all day on a smartphone and forget the fact that my atom was forged, all the atoms in my body were formed in a star far, far away.
Your star stuff. And Phil reminds us of that.
You know what? I hope his full name is Fill My Heart with Joy. But Dan Perlman, I mean, you couldn't have done better. You could not have done better.
Thank you so much. And I'm glad they all killed it. And you can find him on Facebook at Phil Philly. He doesn't have a Twitter, and he doesn't have a cell phone.
Of course he doesn't. Phil Philly, maybe we'll get him to come in one day once we know that we have full security. By the way, there wasn't going to be any ISIS at our place last night. We got the fucking Sirius, which is ex-New York detective. You didn't see him in the audience?
Yeah.
But there was never going to be any amount of trouble last night.
I feel very safe in there.
I know. I feel safe and nervous with our security. Because normally our security is somebody like Vito,
Yes.
A big dude who,
Which, it's great to have someone like Vito around because I was needed in the other room. I had to get through a crowd full of people, and Vito took my hand, and it was like the fucking bodyguard. I felt like Britney. I felt like Britney Spears with this massive bodyguard, like, back away, come through.
There's a robe. Well, you had to go sign autographs and pose for pictures, and it was just seriously as fun as you could get. Last night's audience was also destroyed. As I said earlier in the day, Chris Stanley has been here for 8 years, never has gotten as much as a hand clap.
Not even a clap of hands?
Not even at all.
Pin on most of the time.
Yeah. And the people adore what you are doing now, my friend.
They love you.
And I love them is the thing.
I believe that there's a strange chemistry that you and Gail have where she somehow humanizes you.
You think I melted his ice heart?
I don't know what it is. I'm not smart enough to understand exactly what happens there. You know what I mean? I know what a rainbow is. I don't know how it's created. Okay? But I can spot one. And there's a rainbow around this kid.
And because of that, I will go on Periscope to protect her ass, pussy, and mouth.
David. David in Tennessee. Great to meet you last night, pal.
Oh, it was fantastic. Best time of my life by far, and thank you guys so much for that. But my favorite was the other Asian.
Brian Kim.
We forget about him because he got out Asianed.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He should have been the runaway Asian.
He should have been. I mean, he was my pony in the race. I took one look at him and I was like, this is going to be the guy.
See, this is the other thing about Dan that shows that he's an out of the box guy. He never put two Asians in a show. It just doesn't work that way. So when we were, bringing up the second Asian, I heard someone in the crowd go like this, "What? Another Asian?" And I just thought, Dan must know what he's doing here. Brian Kim is crazy.
As I was leaving last night, he was still bowing to everybody to walk by him in his L.A. twang, whatever that meant.
Now, I don't know who all that is. I know that LA twang is a mistake. It's a fucking. I've been to LA. That accent doesn't exist there.
This character does not make any sense that he's created.
I don't know.
Just be Brian Kim. It's interesting enough.
There's no one that has like an Atlanta, Oklahoma mixed accent in LA.
No,
and is Asian. He's fucking up with that. He's got to, go in a different direction.
I didn't even consider race with these guys because they're all just their own creatures. They just transcend.
But let me just ask you, the two guys that bailed, the black guy and the Puerto Rican guy, is that what happened?
It was a black guy and a white guy.
Because,
they bail?
The black guy was sorely missed.
Yeah, it needed it.
Chickened out.
Two Asians and no black guy? It's weird.
I know.
What's happening?
That's why I ended up having to talk to a detective and explain to him, no, we had a black guy. He put on a parachute and jumped out of the plane. Can't stop him.
I mean,
Jurian brought a black girl. Does that count?
She's very lovely. And then I had an uncomfortable moment there where I said, I met you before. And I did not. But he always has Oddly, he always has a black or Asian with him.
Yes.
That's his flavor. That's what he likes.
Again, I pointed this out last night. It's a way to stay in the game. It's a way to extend your career. Sometimes, yeah. So, obviously, the people went crazy for the style of cashmere.
Oh my God, he got a huge pop.
Pants,
cashmere, and I didn't know that you could wear pink pants post Labor Day or pre Labor Day. I didn't know that.
It's a special skill. You have to. It's only for certain people.
But people were very impressed with you last night.
They were very impressed.
Loved. Everyone was so fun. It was such a good vibes.
But see, that's the thing that you could be the style guy for the show. I mean, there's no reason that we couldn't do a runway show, invite people out to it,
God.
and have the same comics as models that Dan brought in last night.
Perfect.
I would love to use them as little moldings.
That's scary, but okay.
So, not Rachel. Well, she's good. But the other one.
Now, did you worry at all about the pink pants, or did you think, I know this is going to be a hit?
I woke up, I was like, I gotta wear pink pants. I was just going for it. Yeah.
Nice.
He woke up like that.
Stanley went with the late in life Rambo look, which
late in life Rambo.
I didn't think worked, but what can I say? The critics proved me wrong.
It was a crowd pleaser.
Yeah.
I like to give them what they want, and that's crazy old vet.
I thought it was a veterinarian at first. But you know what? Let me say this, Chris. I don't have a problem with non-military people wearing an army jacket. But when you have your arm in a sling and you're wearing an army jacket and you're letting people say thank you for your service in the middle of Times Square, wrong.
I thought it was good to just drape it over the shoulder.
Social faux pas.
It happened once. I thought, oh man, should I say something? Should I tell him I'm not a veteran? And then it just started feeling good, and I just let it go.
Did you reach Shrekalov yet?
Yes, I did.
9 a.m. tomorrow?
Tomorrow morning, yes.
Great.
Taken care of.
Taking care of business.
TCB.
Now, you're doing a smoking with Chris at what time tomorrow?
10:45 a.m. on Periscope.
I do not have to be your guest, but I am coming on to make a major announcement about what you've been doing.
I cannot wait for this.
This is huge. What is it?
First of all,
I'm kind of nervous and I'm kind of freaked out, to be totally honest.
I wish you wouldn't use a word as small as huge when talking about this announcement. Okay?
Massive?
Look, you're the type of person that after the Sermon on the Mount would go, Jesus was awesome. No, it's much bigger. This is bigger than the English language, which jails you right now.
Oh, shit. I'm really fucking feel like I'm going crazy.
It is, I'm not going to say this news is bigger than the Big Bang.
Okay.
But it's got to be right there on the shore.
Oh, shit.
Same plan?
And you know me, I do not get carried away with stuff.
No, not once.
Never known.
Thank you, Joe.
Come on, Joe. It's to follow at the iBang on Twitter to get my Periscope feed of Smoking with Chris, and at the iBang on Periscope.
Well, the iBang, by the way, also just came through Blockbusters for us last night.
Gigantic.
Yeah, that was great.
4 comics who killed. 4 comics who left there saying this was the most fun we've ever had. We didn't get it at first. We didn't see ourselves as mentors. We didn't understand the little bells. Tucker, what's up?
Hey, Ron. Hey, I was there last night, had a great time, all good things. And so I noticed something last night. I'm convinced my chick and I are the only people that caught this tiny moment where during Phil's performance, we were looking at the judges, and all 4 of them, like Voss had his hands over his eyes like he was watching a car accident, and Dan had his hands over his mouth, and Gomez had his hand on his head like he was blown away. It was just like everybody was confused.
This is amazing that you say this, because Gail punched me in the back and look at their faces during that.
I had the same moment, and I wish that I had my phone with me so I could have taken a fucking picture, because it was incredible. Like the image of Phil standing there and them just looking dumbfounded. People who had been diving on jokes all night and going for the joke literally were speechless as this kid was.
So, Gail, please tell me you noticed this. I elbowed my chick to be like, oh my God, look at the judges. And at the moment, Phil did something absolutely absurd. I wasn't sure if it was performance art or what, but me and my chick were looking at the judges, and they all cocked their head to the side like a dog.
Yeah.
They were like, and they all just lost. They forgot that they were supposed to judge. I don't know. It looked like they were going click, 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 click up a roller coaster.
There was nothing like that kid on stage, and when he would stop and stare at his little notes.
Right. At some point, I'll let you go real quick, but at some point, if I ever bump into you on the street, I want you to tell me privately if that was a work.
I am telling you now, because I would take full credit. I mean, Chris Stanley's a work. I'm not going to fucking lie to you about that.
No. Sure.
But this kid I had never seen before, and Dan, I will tell you how I know who this kid is. I was watching Dan's Periscope from Halloween, and Dan dressed up like him and went on stage. Am I right, Dan?
You're absolutely right. That was who I imitated.
That's why I recognized him. I'm like, that's what the fuck Dan was doing on Halloween.
All right, thanks for taking my call, guys. Be well.
Peace. So I'm going to guess this. Not a lot of comedians feel the same way as you do, like that this is a healthy thing to have around in the clubs.
I think most people are scared of him, yes. But when you talk to him, He's a very interesting guy. He sent me his resume once, and it was the weirdest. He said, "I've guided a blind man. I'm good at carpentry." I'm like, this is Jesus's resume, Phil. What are you
Right.
talking about?
You're right. You know what? Take him as it is, Jesus, is what I say. Treat him in the same way you would.
I'll also say that he does have some delusions and some like mental shit, and so he's confided that he sees dragons like around the room. So for someone who sees dragons to stand up and tell kind of well constructed jokes, he's the best.
I certainly would like to make a friend out of the guy. I think that he's amazing. But I think we all imagine dragons. Am I right about that, guys?
Mm-hmm.
So true.
Love that.
Well, it was phenomenal. And, this is one of those things, because I said when we had the initial idea, I'm like, it's going to either kill or we will be killed. And we're going to have this horrific. I mean, the smart and easy thing would to do the second act the same way we did the first act. After feeding people, everyone would have left happy. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or we could have brought out the comics and had a little ball busting session. But I feel the show delivered a next level thing right there. We brought theater
to the people.
Yeah. We brought basically water to a thirsty world. Now, I believe we've mentioned all the players in the show except for one. Joey Jojo.
Yeah.
What happened? Let me just say this. Gail brings up all the comics, and you had funny stuff that was, presented, and you knew something great about all the comedians and odd and bizarre, and you were delivering it in a way that was just weirdly perfect for that moment. I don't know whether it would ever work anywhere else, but in that moment, it was perfect. And then you say this announcement as you're bringing up the last comedian.
I say our last comedian is from Puerto Rico and from St. Paul, Minnesota. And I couldn't even finish the rest. We had funny stuff written down. I was very excited to say it. It was drowned out.
The room exploded. You came up there in your funny 1979 Robin Williams shirt. You know what I mean? That made me think, oh, he is funny. Look at that colorful.
He must be funny.
By the way, was that a shirt or a jacket?
It was a windbreaker. It was like a golfer's windbreaker.
But like a short sleeve windbreaker?
No, I pushed it up.
Okay, gotcha.
But was it was it a Hawaiian windbreaker?
It has a bunch of golfers on the side and a bunch of golf clubs, and they're all in a swinging motion.
I felt like I was seeing through Phil's eyes. That fucking jacket was so insane. So you get up on the stage.
Yeah.
You've got to do 3 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
You've totally won over the room.
Got it.
They were yours to lose.
Yeah.
What happened?
So I went up.
Yeah.
Told my first joke. Got a good response. A better response than I thought it did.
They were very happy.
Yeah. I went into some other jokes. I mean, because this was my mentality going on stage. Just seeing all these other comics go up and these judges just mentor the shit out of them. And they're just mentoring from left and right.
Yeah.
Really constructive criticism. And I'm up the whole time just looking at intern Anthony, who was no longer an intern, just being like, I'm going up. I'm going to go ahead and do this. And then I went up. First joke went over. And I was like, oh, they haven't said anything yet. So then I went into my other material. And I ended up forgetting a little bit of material. And then towards the end there.
What was an overwhelming response that you had? I'm sure that had to be a weird experience.
I'm going to say what destroyed him. I'm going to see if Dan thinks I'm correct about this. So he gets a ring of the bell from Rich Voss, who says, why are you talking about these weird things? If you seem like you really want to be a comic, why aren't you up there talking about yourself? And that was like a crack in reality for him. Like, instead of like making fun of his jacket, which he was prepared for,
Yeah.
Right.
or, you know, whatever little thing, someone actually said to him, "Why are you hiding in front of this room full of people who would like to know you?" And it's almost like a fucking Bugs Bunny cartoon where the soul leaves the body and starts to float into space. You were done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Louis J. Gomez came to my defense. He was like, he has an act, at least.
No, he said, like, who? Like Stephen Wright? You know what I mean? He fucking protected you, saying, look, he's doing a surreal kind of comedy. But that fucking line kicked you in the balls. Am I wrong about that, Dan?
No, I think you're right. I think that just it might be Joe's inner voice, and that it came out in Voss's mouth. I think hurt him.
Let me tell you something, Joe.
Yeah.
You could have pulled your shirt up to your nipples and started doing a funny dance, and the room would have went fucking crazy for you.
Damn it.
They
I forgot
were
that
yours.
one.
Here's what I was thinking. I actually didn't even think of it until the way home. Why didn't we have Joe sing one of his songs?
It's crazy.
Those
Insane.
fucking people love you, dude.
I would have fucking killed that song.
I know. If you would have done any of your great songs, they would have lost their minds.
I could only imagine what my face looked like as they started to go crazy after I said born in Puerto Rico. Like, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
Did they know who I'm?
Yeah.
What the fuck? I mean, it was nuts, their reaction to you. You're loved.
Yeah. I forgot a lot of jokes.
Loved, Joey.
As you were going up on stage, someone yelled out, "Pretty good price." And I'm like, that's your hook.
I could have sang that.
Weird Al doesn't go out there and start trying to fucking do a monologue. He gives the people that what they bought.
The hits.
I could have done an original for that night. An original Thanksgiving Pretty Good Prize.
It was fucking so much fun. But you were you in shock with that kind of reaction? Is that part of what got to you too?
No, I wasn't that because my material kills.
Yeah.
Bullshit.
No, I don't mean that. I mean just the reaction that you got coming to the stage. Was it more than you were expecting? Did that kind of throw you off?
It was definitely more than I was expecting.
Yeah.
And I had, I was going to do this bit where I, checked my phone and I was going to turn it into a joke, but I fucked that bit up. And then from there, I just forgot what I was going to say after that. So then afterwards, I was like, Philly, where I'm checking my notes, being like, what jokes did I miss? And so I still have
3 minutes.
3 minutes.
That's all you had to do.
I tried to do my, hey, have you ever seen the hit Broadway musical Stomp joke? And then I started stomping on stage like in the musical, and that didn't go over.
No,
that
I believe was your closer, right?
Yeah, that was my closer.
You had 4 mentors who have never once went to a Broadway play. Oh, God, that was amazing. I don't know. I don't think it could have went any fucking better. And I hate to say something went. You know what I mean? I guess we could sit around with a fucking red pen and go, why didn't this happen? Like some mean teacher.
Right.
But for the first gig for the Bennington show going out, it was fucking nuts. And I got to tell you right now, no one treated that like it was the Ron Bennington show. This is the fucking everybody got major fucking pops, got major love, and that was that was an amazing thing for me to see. It was an amazing thing for me to see fucking Chris go over like that. I mean, the Brooklyn Brawler, 8 fucking years of counting the lights. And then he comes into the fucking room and they treat him like he's Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Fucking amazing. I should have been shotgunning beers up there. Just for the hell of it.
You think you're fucking kidding. You would have shotgunned a beer, they'd have fucking torn the roof off the place. By the way, I'm just pointing this out. You have no idea how large the kitchen is in the Hard Rock.
It was
That's
frighteningly
huge.
large.
We could play a fucking football game there.
Do you know how many New York restaurants could fit inside of their kitchen?
That's true. That's a really good point.
I was like, there would be seating in here. Like, this is
Yeah, you could easily take that place, and if they suddenly said, "Oh, gambling's legal in New York," that's a full casino. That's a full fucking casino.
Fuck yeah.
It's nuts. I mean, there's most places that you eat in New York, you could fit like what, 8 of them inside of that kitchen alone.
But someone said to me, like, when I'm saying like the kind of business Johnny does, and they're like, "Well, look where he is," But I remember when that was the WWF restaurant, and you could have went in there and fucking thrown a hand grenade and not hurt anybody. I mean, that was just a big empty fucking tomb.
Yeah.
And when Johnny was leaving 57th Street to go to Times Square, I'm like, "Don't do it, dude." I like literally said to him, as some of like the bad advice I give everyone, I go, "You will fuck up everything. This is an iconic location, 57th Street. I remember coming here in the fucking 80s and being excited to get into the place, right? Like literally went back because I think there was only. It was a London Hard Rock. It was a New York Hard Rock. I don't remember if there was
L.A.
Maybe L.A. Maybe
Miami,
New Orleans. I think something like that. But I remember going back and telling people, "Hey, I got in the Hard Rock Cafe," and they were like, "Fuck, really? Like, was Rod Stewart there?" And I go, "No, not when I was there, but
a cheeseburger."
There's always those things in those days that it was like literally like an it place,
right?
Vincent D'Onofrio used to fucking work the door. He used to be a bodyguard there.
That's crazy. I didn't know that.
Yeah. But I'll say this. He wasn't a movie star yet. I mean,
right. Oh, yeah, sure.
But it was minutes before. I mean, it was like right before. Matter of fact, I think he might even shot Full Metal Jacket and then came back and worked there, waiting for his next opportunity. I'm not 100% sure about that. So that was spectacular. We met so many people. It was just so great when you meet people who have like a one-on-one relationship with the show. But one of the most things that ever blown me away is Rich, the fireman, who New York City fireman, retired, and now is a painter of, what would you say? Is that called fine arts when you sit and paint like that? When you try to explain what kind of painting a person does?
Yeah, I suppose. Yeah, but I mean, he's definitely doing like proper like oil painting.
They're oil
type.
paintings.
Yeah,
yeah. He gave me a painting, and it was stunning. If we'll try to put up on Twitter so you can go see his work. For a guy who's been painting for 4 years, when you see a skill and a craft that I would kill to have. I love the thought of painting. I love the thought of someone being, during the afternoon when the light is perfect, to sit there and paint things that they want to paint. I have no idea what it's like to do that. To have him give me one of his paintings was just, it killed me.
Yeah, like the skill of I think that everyone romanticizes that because the skill of being able to communicate that way with your hand, to say like, this is how I see it in my mind, and to perfectly be able to execute it. I was floored. I was floored when you showed me the painting that he gave you.
Yeah, I'm just stunned.
It was beautiful.
He gave me a picture of painting as well, and it was like photo quality. He said he painted with oil. I was like, this looks like a picture, Rich the Fireman.
Did you go and look at his website? Because I went and looked at it last night. If you go to the Bennington Show Twitter, you can see some of his work. And he had his daughter with him last night, and she was wearing a Cruella de Vil jacket.
It was awesome.
I was obsessed with her jacket.
Yeah.
In fact, I saw her in the audience and kept
Me
looking
too.
at it like, I hope I meet that chick because she's so cool.
Yeah.
And then when we took a picture together, I was like, I hope you don't mind. I'm going to be stroking your jacket the entire time we were talking.
All right, see the kind of soapbox derby car? I got one of the variations, one of the many that he's done in this way, not of the same picture, but from different perspectives and all that.
Right.
And it kind of represents the time this would have been like the childhood kind of looking things of what Phil and I grew up with, a kind of a different American than what you guys, grew up with, kind of the last physical America that we had, even though the old people told us we weren't living in a very physical world at all, right? They're like, you have that TV set of yours. But if you look back on it now, it really was about, kids having pocket knives and making their own soapbox cars and playing baseball sandlot style, all stuff that you just don't see anymore. And his ability to just, capture, I don't know how you can capture a feeling when you're painting. I don't know how it happens. I'd kill for that. And I would always just be yelling at people, I'm painting. You know what I mean? Don't bother me. I'm painting right now. I paint. And the thing that he's been doing this for 4 years, he worked, as a New York City fireman for many, many years. And
I was shocked when he said he'd only been painting this way for 4 years.
Yeah.
That's an incredible skill that's just been dormant, or maybe it's cooking inside of you. I don't even know which.
I think that he knew he had a talent for it and he was doing design and stuff like that. But when you shake loose and just saying, I'm going to express look at that. That's just fantastic.
Go back to the one where it's like a skull and a bottle. That one is so beautiful. Oh, a little higher up. Look at that. That's stunning.
Yeah. And so different than the other ones, right?
That's crazy beautiful.
And of course, he being a New York City fireman and, being on the job in the era of, 9/11, lost so many friends. When you look at that helmet that he painted, the fire helmet, and you just look at it and, know that there's a sense of history connected with that.
Yeah.
But by the way, we were talking about his daughter. She set up I guess like a gallery show for him, and people came and he was selling paintings. He sold like 10 paintings that night. And this is really new for him. But the fact that they had that, that she's out there getting his name out, it's really, really great stuff.
I love that.
Yeah.
That's so cool.
It's amazing the people that listen to the show and the connection we have, even though, we kind of don't know each other. We also kind of do. You know what I mean? Like if someone says I listen to your show, you kind of get what kind of person they are,
Yeah, it was so cool to meet people, and you start talking to them, and right away you realize you have a connection to them, even though it might have seemed one-sided because they're listening to you.
Right.
Immediately you can start in on a conversation because it's very personal. It's a very personal way that we link up.
Yeah, because it's kind of like we're hanging out together. And a lot of people think, I could go in there and hang, and they're probably right. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
they would have somewhat of the same interest or make points on the opposite side of something that would interest us. It's great. Radio is phenomenal that way. So rock gods all the way through. We know a bunch of rock gods. And that's an extremely cool thing. But you guys and Joey, I know Gail put together that. What did you call it? Your production notes or whatever?
Yeah, I put together a production schedule. Sure.
Everything ran on time. Everything. When I looked up when we went to breaks, literally on time without thinking about it. It was we're in the green room waiting to come out, and Chris is pacing around saying, "This is the first time I wasn't out front," and I'm like, "You gotta trust Joey. Joey's got it now."
Yeah.
Schedule boy, rather.
Schedule boy, they call him, and he nailed the schedule.
Yeah,
nailed it. All our interns crushed it.
Yeah.
Everybody killed.
Everything was happening like clockwork, and I was like, I work with a bunch of fucking professionals.
You know what I'm mad at myself for? I didn't bring up Zito last night. And he did great work for us, and of course people know him from the past, but there was so much shit going on that he was the only person I didn't mention, and he was great.
Zito killed it.
But he actually came running up to me going, "This is the best fucking show." He was dying.
He was standing next to me as the conversation was coming up, and he was losing his mind. He was losing. He's like, I can't believe this is happening. And I was looking at him like, this is fucking amazing.
Well, we had to explain to the mentors what the thing was, and I was still explaining as we were walking up to start the second act. I was saying, no, you're free to go for this. But once they all started hitting the bells together, I'm like, I think this is going to fucking work big. And by the time when we were like, it was kicking off, I literally felt like a genius. I'm like, because like when you get an idea about something, like I'm saying, this thing wouldn't have worked without everybody pulling together and doing this stuff. From a production point of view, we kept it minimal. You know what I mean? I don't know whether if we keep doing this in the future, whether we want to have more stuff, but it was so smart of us to do it pretty much on a blank canvas, you know?
Yeah.
It was great.
It was perfect. And you're right. It was like seconds into it. I was like, okay, this is going to go really well.
I can't remember the last time that I did something that I thought, something that I thought of came into physicality and work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And
it
that's
was
the
a
way
brilliant idea.
Yeah. But I don't mean just that. I mean the whole night. And I mean working with you guys too. You know what I mean? It was a huge, weird turn to do with your career, particularly at my fucking point in my career where I could have, done a couple different things. But to work with young people that have fucking taken the ball and run with it, and like I said, there was at no point did I feel like, oh, it's the Ron Bennington show. You know what I mean? People were there for everybody. It was so fucking great to experience that, I kind of feel like, I felt like, oh, so this is what it feels like when you're coaching the Patriots and everything starts to fucking work out. Like you guys, seriously, you guys made it happen, Well,
it was so cool for me, like seeing you in front of an audience, which, all of my early memories are of you that way. And they were like the same dude you were.
Yeah.
You just crushed.
Well, I got out of it because, people, places, and things. It's not an easy environment. But last night was, yeah, you're right. It was just really fun to do. And again, you take a Chris Stanley, just a washed up, broken out. I mean,
he's a broken down piece of meat.
Let's be honest about this. Not a has been and never was. You know what I mean? And the way that crowd popped for him, I mean, my fucking heart was beating fast.
Yeah,
I loved it. And I mean, you couldn't have looked shittier.
Oh, I look like a crazy person.
It's so sick. Don't forget.
The sickness was gone. Did you notice?
Yeah, it felt good.
That's adrenaline.
Oh yeah, I love adrenaline. Gotta see if I can get that artificially pumped into me.
The only person I know who ever got it was Hunter Thompson. He had that adrenal gland that he was sucking.
I gotta get me some of those adrenal glands.
That's one of the jokes I forgot last night. I was gonna go, hey, you guys pick up Hunter S. Thompson's new cookbook. Yeah, it's called Fear and Low Man in Las Vegas.
Dude, that would have fucking destroyed.
The mentors wouldn't have had anything to say to that.
No,
just
not
shut their
one
asses down.
thing.
That's Phil level stuff.
All right, we got to stop our circle jerk here and jump into some more stuff. Here are the big stories. This is from Joey Jojo. Kate Moss chooses her 11th sexiest pics of all time. Joey, I know this, he's obsessed with the ladies.
I know.
He loves the ladies.
Love the ladies.
There's also a Chuck Klosterman story where he picks the greatest quarterback of all time, who he interviewed. Remember, did we play it on the air about the viral video of the black dude singing and going crazy over the Patti LaBelle pie? I think we put it up on the site.
It was up on the site. We haven't played on the air.
Walmart has sold out of that.
Oh, that pie?
Yeah. Are you serious?
Yeah, they sold out of the pie.
And it's definitely because of this.
A Tennessee mom is not happy with Cam Newton, wrote an open letter and saying that that him dancing in front of her daughter ruined her daughter's life. And then J-Law said she had to get drunk to kiss Chris Pratt. And even when she got home, she felt terrible about it and called her mom to say, am I a good person? All those stories we're going to be talking about when we come back with Bennington. Welcome back to Bennington. Crazy day around here. Gail got to meet one of her heroes, Peaches.
I'm still like on clouds right now over it. That was so fucking cool.
Yeah, but you're not even paying attention that Andrew Lloyd Webber and R. Kelly are both here, and you only care about Peaches.
A cloud of peaches right now. I'm happy about the other situation. You said, look, there's Sir Andrew Lloyd Webber. And I was like, yeah, but Peaches earlier, remember?
Yeah, I don't know. R. Kelly did Trapped in the Closet, though. I love that rap opera.
Rapra.
Rapra.
I'll give R. Kelly this. He's hung around longer than I ever thought he would. Here's what kills me. And this is a spy report.
Spy report.
R. Kelly is running around, enjoying life. And Jared Fogle just got 15 years today.
15.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a lot of years.
I saw his psychologist report or whatever said he's only really guilty of mild pedophilia because he was with 16 and 17-year-olds. And now I guess there's mild pedophilia and full pedophilia. I don't
So they're saying, hey, he's not with a child. He's not with a 2-year-old.
Yeah.
Not with a baby.
With a toddler.
Or a tween, even.
He's
Holy shit, look at that picture of him. He's putting the weight back on. He's fucking totally given up. or else I guess he just can't go into the Subway without someone punching him. Subway has said this. We're standing behind him and his weight loss, and we're still going to keep his poster up in every one of our places.
Good.
Good for them.
The shrink also blamed the pedophilia on the weight loss. They said because he lost all that weight, he became hypersexualized.
Come on.
I swear to God.
Nobody wanted to bang Fogle when he lost the weight.
His last name's Fogel.
Yeah.
That's an unattractive name.
But then you're saying, why aren't all fucking thin guys kid touchers? Why just folks?
Crazy.
We've got a half a dozen Molly's cupcakes that were dropped off with us today.
Yes, dropped off by Vin, listener who stopped in, brought
1 week
some treats.
between jobs, Jersey City guy.
Yes.
And said he's got a perfect place. So we've taken 2 for the studio in here, and these 4 I'm throwing into the trash.
Well, no, come on, please. I haven't eaten yet
Here's
today.
what I'm going to do. You guys can look at them, but no one can eat.
Okay, taste.
No, enjoy all.
Oh,
enjoy.
thank you.
Thank you so much, Vin. I know you'll be hearing this days from now because he's a replay listener.
Yeah, a lot of people are replay listeners, and then they email me, and they're going, you were wrong about evolution. I'm like, if you would have called me, I would have fucking let this happen. I've already stopped thinking about evolution. They pointed out, remember when we were laughing at Chris, or we were teasing Chris?
Yes.
Because he said we were monkey men. And we're going like, why is there still monkeys? So it was brought up that the snake evolved from a lizard, and there's both of those around today. See, it doesn't work when you're doing it days later.
Yes.
Even you guys,
Yeah.
that Chris should be bragging, and he's not.
I'm the smartest man alive. I told you, Chris explains everything.
Now, this is another thing about you, Chris. And you jump on the bandwagons too soon and jump off too soon. I remember when you were the world's biggest Cam Newton guy.
Yep.
Then Cam Newton went to the shitter.
That first season for Cam Newton, when he came out, when everyone said beforehand, like, Cam Newton can't fucking read a playbook. They had all this bad press around him. And then
He's doing so great now. You should be a giant Cam Newton fan, and you ignore him.
Yeah, I know. I've not been paying attention to the Carolina Panthers.
Now, a Tennessee mom, who I call the Tennessee stud, because she's long and lean, but she was at the game and said Cam Newton dancing like that in front of her 9-year-old child was too much for the child to handle, and the child started, I don't know whether cutting, but felt very bad about herself. I am personally not a gigantic fan of people celebrating after their 1 yard score, right? I think it's fucking stupid.
He punched it in.
But the whole thing, like, I wouldn't even bring a 9-year-old to a football game. It's a very violent game.
That couldn't have been the worst thing that child heard or saw the entire. I mean, there's got to be F-bombs at the very least being dropped all around that child.
Well, that's true, too. But also, yeah, just the drunken, vicious nature of what a football game is. I mean, it's a guy who got to keep his own head on a swivel.
I don't think I understand what it is specifically about this dance.
They kind of say he took it too far, that he didn't need to celebrate that much. I guess it's kind of sexy. Maybe it's a sexy dance.
Do you think it's cool when people celebrate after, or do you like to see them just throw the ball to the ref and consider it part of the game?
I kind of like to see them celebrate because, you know, I like to see the dancing. I don't know why they dance, but I also grew up in an age where, like, Terrell Owens took the pen out and, like, the cell phone, and that's what I remember. Randy Moss mooning Packer fans, so, like, that's what I remember, and I grew up loving that stuff.
Why, though? Because you were... I mean, to me, why wouldn't you just love a touchdown? It's plenty. That's the point, to celebrate and go crazy. My team just got 6 points. Not my team is doing a dance.
But I do like I always like it in soccer, like the way they do, like they take the big lap with the arms out and they throw their shirt off. Like there is something cool about celebrating. Well, I don't like the crazy like smack talk where they're just like, yeah, so like that's worse to me than a silly dance.
And then you shake your head like Chris.
Yeah, motherfucker, what up in your fucking face?
Yeah.
When you were on TV that night, that was the funniest shit.
Yeah, his clip on TV shaking his head back and forth for the Mets.
Screaming into
You're not even a Mets fan.
Not anymore, after they fucking lose. Bunch of bums.
Not before and not anymore, the Chris Stanley story. Now, I am from the town of the guy who invented the celebration dance, and that's the great Billy White Shoes Johnson.
Yeah.
Before that, people would, at most, spike a football. When they got the end zone, they threw it down. But he started doing this crazy fucking dance, and people got really mad at him, you know. But he was running back a punt. That's a major thing to pull off. This was a fucking 1 yard touchdown where he really stretched for most of it.
The absolute worst is when teams are like fucking down and say someone gets a sack and they do the fucking sack dance and it's like there's no chance.
Yeah, because the guy probably just got an extra 10 G's on his bonus or something.
Good point, actually.
But if you do this in baseball is so traditional that if a guy celebrates anything, the next guy gets hit in the neck with a fucking 93-mile-an-hour fastball.
Well, that's that with the Blue Jays. When I think the ALCS, the guy in the Blue Jays hit that walk off, and he like stared at it. And everyone
You're not allowed to stare. You're not. You have to find out from crowd reaction how the ball did.
All he did was fucking look, and they were all pissed at him. The fucking internet blew up like, can you believe the non-sportsmanlike conduct this asshole did?
And then the same guys that are sticking up for Cam Newton stick up for the pitcher who fucking throws at a guy for celebrating.
This whole fucking thing is topsy-turvy.
It's crazy. But, you know, why just this guy? Why isn't the offensive lineman that made the block? Why isn't he dancing? The ref who made the call, why isn't he like, did you see that call, everybody? I got that fucking holding.
I would love it if the ref started fucking dancing and celebrating. That'd be the best.
I think it's ridiculous. And they've stopped doing, this is what they say. If you've prepared it, like he was talking about T.O. with all the silliness, now it's a 15-yard penalty. But he's not improvising this fucking dance. He knows what he's doing with that dance.
Victor Cruz would fucking dance to salsa every time he had a goddamn touchdown. The salsa.
You know why they like that, though? Minorities got there's people who never saw the game before.
And then, like I think last season it was like in vogue to spin the ball on the ground like a top.
Right.
And then that became a problem. That was too much for the
Everyone
NFL to
starts
do.
doing this.
Everyone was fucking doing it. No matter what happened, people were fucking spitting fucking balls.
That was my favorite one because then you could gather around it like it was a bonfire. I missed those days when someone would throw the ball up and then the whole team would just act like it was an explosion.
I don't know if that ever happened or that was just in an Oliver Stone movie.
That was just in the fucking Any Given Sunday.
Maybe that's what that
I'm
was.
thinking of Any Given Sunday again.
I'm never not thinking of that movie.
It's true. It's true.
He loves Steamin' Willie Beeman.
Fucking.
And when Jamie Foxx was here, he's like, "Did you see who was here? Steamin' Willie Beeman." I go, even he doesn't remember that part.
What up, Beeman? What up, dog?
He's got 8 fucking films bigger than that stupid thing.
I love the idea, though, that they have to keep changing the specifics of what is banned for the celebration. Like, the specifics of, like, okay, no more spinning the ball like a top. It's such, like, when you're a little kid and in elementary school and they're like, and now yo-yos are banned and no longer kids can do this. Because you're like, you're always going to find the next thing.
Clackers.
Exactly. You know that S that everybody used to draw? It's like almost like it's a very like 3-dimensional looking.
You mean a
S.
swastika?
No, it's not a swastika, but it's hard to.
I'll draw for you right now. I still draw them in notes.
Cool. Yeah,
Cool.
like
Really? That's cool. I don't think so.
On? I draw pentagrams. Is it like a pentagram or like a cube? Like a 3D
no,
cube?
it's like a very specific S that everyone would draw, and it got banned that nobody was allowed to draw this S, and they had to like call a meeting like, hey, nobody's allowed to draw this S anymore.
Oh, okay. It's those connecting lines. It looks like an 8.
Yeah,
exactly. So you're doing like 3 lines, and then you connect them, and they had to call like a meeting of like, now this S is banned from school, and you can't write it on any of your notebooks.
Good, because I'm just making the Rolling Stones lips anyway. And it looks fucking perfect.
Those are now banned as well. We don't want you guys to enjoy your time here at all.
Nightmarish existence.
The idea that somebody used to make you sit in a room quietly.
Yeah, it's like
and like you could see your friends. Like, do you know how sick that is? You could see your friends and you want to say something to them and you're not allowed to speak. That's insane. That's torture.
Yeah.
We don't expect our like workers to do that. You would say just no one talk for the entire workday.
Like you and Chris will be reading next to each other, but if either one of you thinks of anything funny, do not say it.
Oh, shit.
Too bad.
Stand it.
Fucking crazy. I mean, if you want to know what it feels like to be in first grade, just imagine what Jared Fogel's going through. You just got a fucking sentence, right?
Yeah.
And like, at least fucking Fogel could think there could be an escape or maybe, a reduction. When you're fucking entering first grade, and the great thing is, like, a first grader is too stupid to know how long 12 years is.
Yeah.
You can't even imagine it.
Well, I told you this before. I thought that I had already done kindergarten because I went to like a summer camp. Like it's like a day camp with activities. And for some reason I got some wires crossed and thought that was school. And I was getting ready for the school year to start. And I was like, I can't believe I'm going to be in first grade this year. My mom's like, no, you're going to be in kindergarten. I'm like, no, that was kindergarten. And I graduated. And now this is first grade. And it was horrifying to find out that I had to do kindergarten again.
Well, the thing was, you kept talking and never listening. Fucking, you would have fucking figured it out. You just stop all that yapping.
Hey, kindergarten's pretty cool, right, guys? Huh?
Don't worry.
Weird.
I already know how to balance on one foot. I'm going to pass. I'm going to try and get bumped up.
I'm going to copy off you then. What foot are you doing? You're just keeping all your weight in the middle of it somehow? I went to school with Phil. Phil Philly, the Indian Filipino. And he's a tracker. So really it comes down to it. A, we don't give a shit whether Cam Newton dances or not. And B, why would a woman still write an open letter saying that?
An open blog
First
post?
of all, it's not up to fucking Cam Newton whether your child is happy or not, too. You know what I mean?
That's your responsibility to keep the children of the world happy, Cam.
At first, I thought it was like he went to make out with the child. Then I just saw it was just a goddamn dance. Come on, lady. How's your problem? Psycho.
All right, let's jump into this story. Well, we'll stay with football. Chuck Klosterman picked the best quarterback of all time. Who would you pick for it, Joe?
Probably Joe Montana, yeah.
Joe Montana.
Yeah.
Smoking Joe. Montana.
Frasier?
Really?
Smoking Joe Montana.
No one called him Smoking
Oh,
Joe.
yeah, it's Cool Joe.
That's Smoking Joe. Joe Cool. You fucking know nothing about sports.
Sports dyslexia just happened.
You just yelled out Smoking Joe. So Joe Frazier gets one vote, oddly.
It's weird.
As they were counting the votes, when that one come up, you just hear all this laughter and you hear finally, what a dick. Smoking Joe.
Smoking Joe Montana Frazier.
And then everyone knows the fucking phrase Joe Cool, but you call him Cool Joe, which no one knows that fucking phrase. Gail, do you have a pick for this?
Unitas?
Johnny Unitas.
Wow.
Interesting. By the way, when they did the
Clean cut.
all-century team, Smoking Joe Montana and Unitas were the two guys that they picked.
Really?
Yeah.
Although Joe gets style points for sure.
Really?
Doesn't he? Wasn't he the one who was very stylish?
No, you're thinking of Joe Namath.
Oh, yeah.
Joe Namath was bigger than life.
Yeah.
He literally was bigger than
Fur
life.
coat, man. I mean, it's awesome.
Yeah, that's the dude I'm thinking of. I'm mixing up Joe's, as always.
Yeah, I was thinking Joe, the guy who forgot his 3 minutes worth of material.
Yeah,
and
that
started
dick.
looking at his phone.
I was thinking Joe List, so that's so weird.
Joe List is on my list.
Because Joe List,
Joe List. God, he killed last night.
he killed.
Rock God.
I really can't get over that.
What's that?
Just like what a blast that was and how funny the 4 comics were that we brought up.
This is the thing. The amazing number of talented people that we know. It's fucking mind blowing. I mean, we know some of the funniest people on the planet.
Yeah.
Period. Tom Brady is who he picked.
Oh,
as
come
the
on.
best of all
Wow.
time. Chuck Klosterman said it. He meant it. He's here to represent it.
He's lost too.
Hold on, I'm not done. Ungala Black Power. Eagles are the best. Hit him in the chest. What you gonna do? Dance a boogaloo. Now let's go on to this. You gotta admit that he's in the running.
Totally. Yeah.
He's in the fucking running. He could be going to his 7th Super Bowl this year.
Possibly.
3 more than Smoking Joe. That would be phenomenal.
Yes, it would. It would be ridiculous. Now, at best, Tom Brady will be tied with Smoking Joe Cool Montana. He's
Based
not
on what?
That they each have 4 Super Bowl rings.
All right, so if he wins this year, then at best, he's better?
Yes, he is better than Smoking Joe.
It's the number of rings is all it comes down to. That's all you fucking measure life by, the number of rings a man has.
Amongst NFL quarterbacks, yes.
So Dan Marino, terrible fucking quarterback. In your opinion, who's a better quarterback? Dan Marino or fucking Eli Manning?
Eli Manning.
Come on.
He
I was
defeated
actually-
the,
I was actually
the
gonna say-
18-0 Patriots.
I was going to say Dan Marino, but then I thought I was going to get Raz because I know he never got a ring.
And yet he threw a fucking football like it was a baseball. He had a fucking sinker, fucking Cuban palm, cutter. I mean, he was an unbelievable quarterback. But you're saying the only qualification for best quarterback is the amount of rings that you have.
That is the ultimate qualification for best quarterback of all. I mean,
And why isn't it for best running back? Why isn't it for cornerback? It's only for quarterback.
because the quarterback's leading the team. He's got the most pressure on him. He's the one who's got to fucking throw that ball up, get those points.
So, knowing that, the team with the most best players, has got the best chance of that.
Yes.
Because we've seen some really bad quarterbacks win fucking Super Bowls, but that means nothing to you they're a great quarterback because they have a Super Bowl ring.
They manage the team. They're the team manager. They manage the team to that Super Bowl.
Some guys only came in the last 6 games and won.
And they got them there, though, didn't they?
See, this is the thing. You're so frustrating to know someone like you who fucking sits around and has small thoughts that maybe they heard here or there. You're not fucking paying attention to life. We're not talking about best manager. We're talking about best fucking quarterback.
All right, so we're talking about best quarterbacks. So that's like some upper echelon shit. So there's two guys that have consistently got teams to Super Bowls. A, Joe Montana. B, Tom Brady. They both have 4 rings, so they're above fucking
First of all,
everyone
that's
else.
not even fucking true. There's a third fucking party whose fucking 4 rings. How do you not know this? How do you not know who the fuck Terry Bradshaw is?
And Terry Bradshaw.
Now, Terry Bradshaw was nowhere near the best quarterback of the 1970s on any fucking list. No one who comes up with the greatest quarterback of all time ever brings up Terry Bradshaw's name, and he has the same number of rings as Joe Montana.
That's because his defense won those Super Bowls.
But you just explained to us that it's up to the quarterback and nothing else. None of the other players manage. By the way, fucking Marino's defenses used to give up fucking 38 points a fucking game. He would win fucking 41-38. Matt, go ahead.
So let me get it straight. Trent Dilfer is a better quarterback than Dan Marino.
Yes, Trent Dilfer.
Oh my God.
Trent Dilfer has a ring. Marino don't got dick.
Gail, go get me the big knife. I'm going to cut my fucking throat.
No!
Come on, Chris.
Trent Dilfer fucking made it to the show and he fucking got it. All right, he got that fucking ring. I'm sorry, Dan Marino and the Dan Marino fans.
All right. Do you remember who replaced Joe Montana? Another Hall of Fame quarterback.
Steve Young.
How many rings does he have?
2?
No. Way to know sports. He has 1. But in your criteria, this fucking MVP is the same as Trent Dilfer, who has 1. A guy who struggled with the overhand pass.
They're equal. They are equal.
I'm going to fucking go crazy. I'll fucking quit this show today.
Come on,
We were doing
Chris.
so good with
Not
this.
after the
Come
show
on,
last night. No,
Chris, why are
but
you
seriously,
doing
I know, but Steve Young is equal to Trent Dilfer. And Trent Dilfer's better than any quarterback's never won a ring, including Dan Marino and Jim Kelly.
God.
And Jim Kelly. And that's not even close. I shouldn't have even brought up Kelly.
Kelly, who's the only quarterback who took his team to 4 straight.
Yeah, that makes him even look even worse. That makes him even worse quarterback.
I think he won a WFL. Did you give him anything for that? Was that the name of that? No, he was USFL, I think.
Yeah, that was it. Yep.
Yeah.
In the 80s.
That half point. That's like half a ring.
No, it
Can't
isn't.
do half points.
But because you lost the 4 Super Bowls, that's like negative 8 points. And that makes you look really bad. You keep going and you keep losing.
Dude, I'm seriously, in my opinion, when I'm putting people together, you're worse than Jarrett Fogel. You both should be doing 15 years for the things that you fucking did. I might be done right now with this show. I never saw R. Kelly come back out again, did you?
No, I think maybe it might be Brad Johnson also better than Dan Marino.
Well, Brad Johnson was a good quarterback, unlike Dilfer. But he's not better than Dan Marino. At all, my friend. At all. There's just no fucking way.
This is just how my system works. I mean, my system is pretty perfect.
First of all, if your system is so perfect, how come you shit once every 2 weeks? That's
it's all the cheese.
That doesn't seem like a system that's working, in my opinion.
A lot of melted cheese clogs it up.
Oh.
So you'd rather be Eli instead of Peyton. You'd rather have Eli.
Who's the better quarterback?
Eli Manning is the better quarterback. Eli Manning is the better quarterback. It's obvious. Look at Peyton. He can't even keep it together anymore. He's a choke artist.
He's old.
He's fucking 40. And he just, by the way, this choke artist just won every fucking award that you could have. Most passes, all the measurement that isn't Super Bowl rings.
Yeah, congratulations, Peyton. Now fucking sit down in Denver and eat some fucking Papa John's, you bum. Or chicken parm. I don't know what the hell the guy's into these days.
What?
He's
Just
chicken
don't
parm
listen.
man.
Just trying to figure it out. You know, I'm just trying to keep afloat in this conversation.
I know,
Guess
I'm
what?
writing my
Know who
fucking
else-
molars down.
Know who else Eli's better than? That bum Brett Favre. He's got one. Eli's better than Brett Favre.
Jason in Las Vegas.
Hey, Ron. Listen, Chris is high. Nobody's done more with less than John Elway. 5 Super Bowl trips, 2 rings. You know, the guys he threw to are pumping gas right now in Vegas. So, I mean, who's better than John Elway?
Smoking Joe is better than John Elway. Tom Brady's better than John Elway. John Elway's got 2. That's it. He's equal with Eli. Actually, he's less than equal with Eli because Eli's 2 for 2. Elway's what? 2 for 5? Fuck that.
With no Hall of Famers around him, it's a team sport, Chris. You got to have players.
And they got
By the way, Eli never had, phenomenal players. And I'll tell you somebody else who never had fucking phenomenal receivers, well, at least consistently, Tom Brady. Tom Brady is a guy who's also done a lot with a little.
Yeah, anyone goes around Tom Brady, he makes them the man. Other than Gronk, who's a freak show.
Philip in El Paso. Philip.
Yep.
Go ahead, buddy.
Go ahead.
Yes, you're in the West Texas town of El Paso.
Yep. Yeah.
Try to make words. Yeah. Try to make words, Philip. Philip, you had a point to make?
Oh, yeah. Peyton Manning has been, leading the charge as far as QBs go for years, while Eli is just starting to come up and get, a solid footing this season.
All right, Philip, here's what I want you to do.
He's never had a sick day.
Hold on. Why don't you do this, Philip? Listen to the replay of this show and stand there with a razor in your throat and tell me you don't fucking try to just strike it across after you hear how dumb you sounded today. I'll just leave it at that. Look, you can't run Eli Manning down. He was in the most famous upset of all time.
All time, baby.
More than Joe Namath, maybe even. Joe Namath, up to that point, was the biggest upset winner of all time. You could argue the point easily, although Brady seemed to have been hurt and, the team was run down. But I don't think anybody saw that coming. Like the Holmes chick that beat up Ronda Rousey.
Yeah.
That's who fucking Eli is. He beat up Ronda Rousey. He beat up a woman.
You heard it here first.
Congratulations. You
did,
beat the
Eli.
fuck out of a woman.
I love you, you beautiful bastard.
Well, you both have a giant head.
That's like I saw him once in the street.
But I'm going to tell you this, Chris. I don't know how much of this is you fucking working, but you got my fucking blood boiling right now. And I'm filled with just hate and rage.
Look, man, if Marina would have fucking won a Super Bowl ring, it would have been great for him and great for
You
his
just
legacy.
fucking ran down people who only won one ring. You called Brett Favre a fucking loser for only having one.
In comparison to Eli, yes. Eli is better than Brett Favre.
I'm going to pull this fucking car over and no one's going to go to fucking Disney World.
Come on, Chris.
Chris is ruining it for all you.
I'm standing by my word.
You know what I used to say?
What?
Police the back seat. If you really want to fucking go to Disney World, police the back seat. Because I can't. Nunzio, what's up?
So by his logic, and I'm a big Giants fan, Jeff Hostetler, who replaced Sims when he got hurt, is a better quarterback than Marino.
Obviously, he has a ring, dude.
You know what's funny about Sims? You ever notice that people don't say that he has 2 rings? And he does.
Actually, I did.
He's equal to Eli.
But see, the thing is, you're fucking not even able to find a thing. Because he didn't start that day, no one ever says he's got 2 rings, and he does. But they don't, because he didn't win the 2 championship games. They act like it's the game and not the season. We live in a society that obviously, this is one of the reasons that ISIS gets so mad at us. Because we're not using logic.
I just see what happens in front of me, and I saw Hofstetter.
Ross, go ahead. Oh, wait. Let me try you again. Ross, go ahead, pal.
Chris, if you're a backup on a team and get a ring,
What does that count for?
It counts better than it's better than Marino if you're the backup because you were on the team and you helped them get there in some regard. Marino never helped anyone get anywhere. He never helped anyone get to a fucking Super Bowl.
But here's the thing: your colon's constantly backed up, and yet that's not a good thing. Here is Nick in the Catskills.
Hey, how you doing, guys?
Yeah.
So I mean, Chris is
trolling
he's out
us.
of his mind. First,
He's
of all.
trolling us.
I'm not a troll.
I think his shit is packed all the way up to his brain and it's clogging his thoughts.
Ew.
I haven't pooed in a few days.
It's coming a lot. I don't like a grown man saying "pood." By the way, fucking really annoys me.
There's so many variables involved with being a quarterback.
There's one.
It's not.
He's gonna choke you, Chris.
For real, I'm gonna fucking kill you for real. I'm gonna fucking hit your shoulder as hard as I can.
Please don't.
And I saw that little old Chinaman last night who almost brought you to your with, by the way, a pat on your shoulder,
It
not
was
a fucking punch.
gentle pat.
That Asian man rocked my shit.
It really
Please
is the
isolate
most
that.
annoying thing. Craig in Connecticut.
Ronnie B. Gail B.
What's up?
The troll. I think there's only one way to settle this. He's got to get the bell or the buckle.
Which is it?
I always
Bell
want
to
that
buckle.
buckle. I always want that buckle.
Oh, you would.
Give me the buckle.
You would.
The buckle.
And this is a no troll zone.
Oddly proved my toughness. Your son is in fucking jail. So you're going to get even with your brother by getting hit with a buckle. My guy, you just proved that you could beat up. You're the fucking dumbest brother I've ever run into.
My favorite one.
That's why Chris loves him.
Love that guy. Love the beard.
Bruce in Louisiana. Bruce.
Yeah, what's worse to me than not giving Phil Simms credit for 2 rings because he didn't play in the game, but they give Tom Brady all the credit in the world for that first fucking ring, and he didn't play nothing but half the game in a fucking game.
Yeah, bro, but he got the ring, didn't he? And he played in that half game. He got
Yeah,
it.
but
It's
that team was a Belichick team, and that team wouldn't have been there without Belichick, and Bledsoe was the man that whole fucking season.
Wait, are you telling me Brady didn't start that game?
He started the Raiders game, but he didn't start the game before that. No.
Yeah, but he started the Super Bowl
He started in the Super Bowl game. He started, but the game before.
But let me
Raiders
tell you
game, he did
something,
not
and
start.
I'm being honest here. Bledsoe wouldn't have won that fucking game. He just wouldn't have.
might be
The
right.
thing that made this is the amazing thing. We sit around and talk about the greatest upsets of all time. That Patriots team beating the Rams was considered the greatest upset until people saw how good the fucking Patriots started to be in the next few years. And then they're like, oh, I wasn't an upset. But at the time, everybody just sat there. Even at the end of the game, we were waiting for the Rams to win.
Yeah, it was like the greatest show on turf, right? They should have won
Yeah.
a bunch of fucking Super Bowls.
And we were comparing the fucking Patriots to the fucking 1986 Patriots who got fucking destroyed. We're like, here they are, back every fucking 15 years to make an ass out of
What a
themselves.
joke franchise. What a bunch of fucking loser clowns.
You got a guy in a helmet leaning over taking a shit with a fucking tri-hat on.
Great hat, though.
For you, the shit eater. All right, let's jump into this story. This is J-Law. She said she had to get drunk ass wasted to kiss Chris Pratt in a sex scene, and that night went home sick to her stomach and had to call up her mom and say, "Mom, am I a good person or a bad person? I kissed a married man and I made out with a married man."
So what you're telling me is that you're not an actress? Is that what you're saying? You're not an actor?
What she is saying is it's easier for her to shoot a person with a bow and arrow than it is to kiss them. This is everything that's wrong with America. That we think kissing is a big thing, doing a kissing scene is a big thing, and doing a murder scene isn't.
I'll make out with Chris Pratt right now. Doesn't matter to me. I fucking love it.
No one's asking you
For
to, Chris.
free?
You just came out of that with nowhere.
Nobody asked you to make out with Chris
But I'm going to
Pratt.
agree with you. This is something that J-Lo should have to turn her Oscar back in for. To say,
It's crazy.
I am not a true actor. I'm a fucking half of fucking child.
She's a baby. That's crazy baby thoughts. I hate Jennifer Lawrence now.
I would imagine. Okay.
But seriously,
I mean, I wasn't going to go that far. I just like the statement.
I
But
started liking her again after the fappening, but now this fucking makes me dislike her.
unbelievable. You're sick.
You're the troll
You're
show
fucking
today.
sick.
You know what?
This is a no troll
He
zone.
didn't get a lot of sleep last night.
Yeah, and now we're feeding the troll.
But I always say it's easier to get shocks than it is laughs. You know what I mean? That's why fucking shock jocks are like, hey, I love shocking people.
Yeah.
Because they can't make people laugh. And this fucking hack shock jock, Chris Stanley, who just brought up the fappening out of nowhere. Please, the next live gig, boo him.
He also said he would make out with Chris Pratt when no one was coaxing him to.
Yeah. But you know what?
That's
I
true.
kind of got that.
Definitely not a troll.
Yeah. Chris Pratt has done this show twice, and we loved him.
Yeah.
He's the man.
Charming.
He's awesome.
He's fun. He's a fun guy.
Yeah.
Well, he came back in and after the Seattle's first Super Bowl, and he had predicted it like earlier on the show. And then when he came back, we brought it up, and he goes, and I go, and it's the 13th man. He goes, yeah. If you think about it, I'm the 13th man. I'm part of the audience. I'm a champion, right? I am a champion. I
Wait,
can say that.
So wait, is he a better football player than Dan Marino, Chris?
Oh shit!
You know what?
The fucking guy who couldn't remember 3 minutes of material.
Yeah, Chris.
Anyone who's a Seahawks fan is better than Dan Marino.
I hope Dan comes up here and you look directly into his bad knees and say that. Yeah, this really annoys me, not even as an actor, but as an American, because like I said, we're totally comfortable with violence. Where most fucking films have a murder take place. And a murder that isn't mourned by anyone. There's no repercussions to the murder. And yet we demand repercussions of every sex scene.
Well, there was that documentary a few years ago. Rockumentary a few years ago. This film is not yet rated.
Yes.
And that was one of the biggest things that they take on is the difference in ratings where you could be like cutting off heads and like gutting someone and their like entrails like slip out and you're like, okay, whatever. But if somebody is going down on a woman, you're like, oh no, this can't be done.
Even worse if she's
Disgusting.
enjoying it. She has to.
Yeah, they actually said that part of it is like women receiving pleasure. Like even their face as they're orgasming is like, oh no, this is definitely NC-17. This is X-rated.
Yeah, you can't show a close up on a woman like digging it, like, oh fuck this. This is what if a child saw that? What if a child saw a woman enjoying oral pleasure? She should give it. Why we laugh, and the guy should fucking balance a beer on her head while it's going up and down, turn to the camera and give 2 thumbs up.
That's okay.
PG-13.
Now, I think it was Jack Nicholson, and if it wasn't, I'm giving him full credit, who said this many years ago. He said, in a movie, you can cut off a tit, you just can't kiss it. And that is true of the Americans' ability. Now, people be like, oh, something came on and I saw it on the screen. I was sitting there with my children. What if they had questions, right? But you watch a fucking Rambo movie and he's killing 150 guys, and you'll sit and watch that movie with your children and enjoy it. You'll be like, Rambo fucked that shit up. By the way, kids don't even have questions. I just don't believe it.
I never asked shit about my parent. Why would they want to ask? Why would you want to ask your parent anything?
All right, I just got something sent to me from Liam that said Peaches would like to take that girl out to lunch today.
What? The fuck are you talking about?
All right, now he just wrote, is this spelled this way? Psych?
Damn it.
Oh.
Come on. I thought I was going out on a Peaches date.
That's how you spell it, yes.
These are not the shit.
I think that would make a good couple.
You and Peaches?
I think we would.
I think you and Chris the Troll Stanley would make a good couple. He constantly yelled out things that weren't true to annoy people. Can't be a good president if you've never been shot. Or if you've been shot, you're an awful president. Kennedy didn't even was the worst president ever. Carter was better than Reagan because Carter never got shot. Yeah, that just annoys the shit out of me. Now, this Walmart running out of Patti LaBelle pies. First of all, this is very interesting to me for two reasons. Number one, someone goes to Walmart for pie. Can't imagine. But number two, you could not do a commercial that would make everyone run out to Walmart to buy the pie.
No way.
But a viral video of a man singing because he was enjoying the pie so much. You got just a little bit of him going off.
I'm gonna do a raffle. Anybody want to win a pie? So I'm about to slice this pie. I think that this pie, because Patti LaBelle could cook. So I'm just thinking that buying this pie, it's hard to get in this motherfucker. Patty, what you fill this bitch with? Gorilla glue? The shade of getting into the bitch. Okay.
The shade of getting into the bitch.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, there we go. Come on, Patty. You better come out. Come on, Patty. Open Patty up. Remember, support black people, black businesses. Okay, so look. Ooh, it's so pretty. Look at that.
What kind of pie is
it? Why did it end this way? Come on, Patty.
Maybe sweet potato?
So let's taste the patty. I want to taste patty.
Or pumpkin. I think it's pumpkin.
We can find. You got to find out.
Come on,
Chris, get to the bottom of this, would you?
Patty!
Just leave it up. Leave
Sweet
it.
potato pie.
Sweet potato. See?
Make a video for those that said what it tastes like. I ain't never tasted, so here we go. Patty. If anybody know Patti LaBelle, tag her in the video. Patty! Whoa! Yes! Bitch, I turned into Patty. You turned into Patty after eating this. Patty. How is it that two people who laugh together
That's pretty good.
and love together sometimes? Ooh, ha ha! Patty, when you've been blessed, feels like heaven. Whoa!
But he's eating pie.
I swear. Bitch, you'll feel like Patti LaBelle after eating this. Go to Walmart and buy the Patti LaBelle pie.
This video.
Oh, my friend.
This video has emptied Walmart of the Patti LaBelle pies.
Oh my God, that was so amazing.
He did make it look delicious.
He
though.
did. I won the sweet potato pie, a Patti LaBelle sweet potato pie.
Can I tell you something? Patti LaBelle would not like that, man. She does not like bad language. She will throw people out of her show for bad language.
And yet he's bringing her the big bucks now.
He has sold every fucking pie. Her people cannot keep up with the number of pies that everybody wants. Sweet potato. He made it look delicious.
That dude just made me miss my friend so much. He moved to LA, and I actually just want to call him right now and make sure he saw that, because it's just like a larger version of him.
You are very much into gay-based comedy.
Sure. Sure. It's one of my many interests.
Yeah. Now, Gail thought when Fez finally came out that she could introduce him around, and then you decided Fez was not in a fast enough track that he would get run over by these gays.
Yeah, I was like, I have the perfect idea. They're going to be like his fairy godmothers. Like I thought that they would.
You know how many gay people said, I want to be your gay godmother? Tons. And they never did it.
I believe it. And they're like a good mix too. Like there were some young guys, some older guys. I felt like it could be fun, and then the more I kind of thought about it, I realized that after observing him after he
Right.
came out, I realized that he would have been way too sensitive because that's how they get to know each other. I mean, they
Yeah.
razz the shit out of each other, and they're fucking fast as
Right.
hell
Being
and razor sharp.
Yeah, being gay is this exact same thing as being on Tough Crowd. That you have to be fast, and then you have to take a shot with some grace. You know what I
Yes.
mean? You have to when you take a shot, you have to be like, "Oh, that was a good shot, dude. You got me."
Yeah.
But this Patti LaBelle, we could have said, Patti, give us $10 million. We will buy ads all over America, and we couldn't sell out the pie chain. One dude with a fucking YouTube.
Insane. This is a new world we're living in. We don't know how to keep up with it.
We don't know what the hell is going on.
Patty, we don't know. Oh, the shade of it all.
What the shade on this motherfucker? Patty would fucking hate that.
Patty.
She does not like that kind of shit. But I'm going to guarantee you this, because she's a church lady. I don't even think she's happy with gays. And that's a big part of her fucking audience.
You better know your audience, Patty.
Yeah.
Look at what this kid's done for you.
Speaking of which, our gay kid left today, right?
Yeah, I had to go to class.
I wanted him to see this.
Cash
We're doing
me.
Opie Radio tomorrow at 6?
7 a.m.
7 o'clock. All right, I don't know all the times. These are not the clocks.
This is not the time.
And then also afterwards on Smoking with Chris, a phenomenal big announcement will be made.
I can't wait to find out what it is. We don't know.
Feel
I know.
I know.
need
You're
to
the
know.
only one, though.
Yeah.
You're the only one who knows.
And what if something happens to me tonight and no one ever finds out?
Jesus Christ, no.
No. Jared Fogle is left in prison instead of being an undercover agent.
I'm going to call Vito and make sure he escorts you home.
You're really, really, you're really crazy about that Vito now.
I love Vito. He's my boy.
Gentle giant.
He is.
Kind of is. Okay. Here's some of this stuff up. I don't know if you guys remember The Soup, the TV show The Soup.
Hell yeah.
Two announcements I have to make. Number one, it's still in the air, and number two, it's canceled.
No.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Come on.
Who even does the
When?
soup anymore?
Well, I was going to say Dick Vermeil, but he hasn't done it in years, right?
No. Joel McHale now does. Well, Dick Vermeil used to do it when it was Talk Soup.
Right.
And then a guy named like John Henson took over for him. And
I know who John Henson is.
Yeah. I thought he was the best. Honestly, I thought he was
He's
the
actually
best.
a very funny guy.
Yeah, I thought he was
He's a
the
good
best
actor,
host
too.
of the Soup. And then they rebranded it right back as The Soup, and that's when Joel McHale took over.
So there's only been 3 guys, and they're all very similar in, genre.
Yeah.
I believe Aisha Tyler hosted for a small amount of time before The Soup was taken off the air, and then before it was rebranded as just The Soup. Oh, Hal Sparks also hosted. This has been 5, not 3. Hal Sparks hosted for a little while, too.
Now you're just doing that off the top of your head?
Yeah, I was a giant fan of The Soup, and Greg Kinnear, and then John Henson, and then Aisha Tyler, and Hal Sparks.
Please only refer to Greg Kinnear as Dick Vermeil.
Dick Vermeil, excuse me.
Something to add, Joe? Oh, you just said, show me the picture?
Yeah, I was just showing
There's a
you the
picture.
Chelsea is coming to Netflix soon. The trailer for the very Murray Christmas is up. And I also have a weird Hillary Clinton thing. Her campaign threatened the Laugh Factory and told them to take down a video making fun of Hillary, or else they would close it down. I don't even know what that would even mean.
What?
What do you
But
mean?
Some fucking bit that they were doing about Hillary.
Yeah, it was about a minute-long video that the Laugh Factory posted to their YouTube page, which has since been taken down, that made fun of Hillary for...
Why did the Laugh Factory take it down?
Because her campaign pressured the Laugh Factory into taking it down. They like threatened her, pretty much saying, "Hey, we'll find a way to shut you down if you don't do this."
Like, take away your liquor license?
Yeah, kind of. So, and the owner who started it more than 3 decades ago said, "I've been in this business for a long time, and this is the first time that someone's really threatened seriously to try and shut me down for some comedy that I posted."
The video is up, but they did not take it down. You can see it up on the iBank. But this, I'm sure, had to come from some lower level people, because anyone who actually would be running a campaign would know that this would be a fucking stupidest thing that you could ever do.
Yeah.
If you're a high level staffer, not only should you be off the campaign, but you should never. Anyone would be stupid to hire you for another campaign. This would be the dumbest PR move of all time. You know, you have that thing where the president has to sit there where comics come out and do a fucking joke about him every year.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's part of it.
You're only going to come off weak by being
You got to
upset.
laugh at yourself. a
And I
little
don't
bit when
even
you're
know what the video is, no matter what the content. I mean, she's heard it all before. I can't imagine that it's any worse than anything she's ever dealt with before. You're going to come off so weak. Even if it's not her call, it makes her look so bad that somebody on her
looks
campaign.
terrible.
Yeah, it's so cheesy looking.
And that's what they've always complained about the Clintons, that they, you know, are underhanded and will do anything to win. And this is thuggery. Thuggery.
Especially when late night will make fun of you every single night. And Saturday Night Live is doing it every single
Yes,
week.
it's part of your job.
Yeah.
Look how many Republicans went on Jon Stewart after he fucking decimated them, and then let him take shots while they were sitting there. I mean, all of them. John McCain would be a regular on Jon Stewart. It's embarrassing.
It
for the
is
Clintons.
embarrassing.
It's embarrassing for Bill Clinton, and it's embarrassing for a certain intern that he took into the hallway and cigar banged. Speaking of which, I got a lot of lovely cigars here, including this one little cigar. It's called a Stanglehold.
Oh, let me see that. That's a beautiful.
It's a nice little box, right?
Yeah, that's very pretty.
Now, by the way, this bit that they put up, it's not. All it is clips from all the comics who have done Hillary jokes one after another. You know what I mean? Like people do Hillary jokes, so they pulled it and put it up.
Right.
It's not like, oh, we sat down and wrote up this bit and brought out a director and an editor and made this vicious anti-Hillary. It's stand-up comics, and they just pulled, different things. It's crazy that they would do this.
I hope this sinks her campaign. This is so fucking crazy.
And I hope Bernie Sanders goes up against Trump. I don't know who to vote for anymore. Like, I know it looks like they're running Trump out, and like,
but they keep saying the polls. He just he's getting more and more juice. Juice, like good things.
These are not the juice.
These aren't the juice.
Not the juice I was looking for.
They just have to nominate Trump, and let's see where this
How
goes.
about? By the way, this is how good your show was last night, guys. Jeffrey Gurian stayed for the entire thing.
I was shocked when I saw him in the second act. I could not believe it. I thought that he was going to then jump around as he always does.
Right.
And I was amazed to see him for the whole show.
He didn't do that last year either. He left.
Well, I am touched.
Now, I want to get into where Joey Jojo really fucked up. And I was decided not to tell him. But a friend of mine comes to these events. And even though I would say she's the funniest human being that could ever exist. And I'm serious when I say, think of the funniest person of all time. Who would you pick? Like Richard Pryor?
Yeah, Carlin.
Carlin for me. Yeah.
Tied with the two of those. It's a three-way tie between Carlin, Pryor, and Kathleen from the Bronx. Now, not only is she funny, but unlike those two guys, You want to go shoulder to shoulder with her in a bar fight. She is there to protect. Okay? If someone fucked with me, she would come after them like a mama falcon. Oh, by the way, I know nothing about falcons, but I bet the mothers are really,
very protective.
Totally, yeah.
But
Fierce.
there's one thing about her. She doesn't like to be pointed out in front of crowds. You know what I mean?
Yes.
And I go, don't worry about it. I won't even, mention you. Come on up. She came by bus from Philadelphia just to spend the evening with us. The only fucking human being that Joey Jojo crowd worked at all was Kathleen from the Bronx.
Come on, Joe.
Yeah, and he said to her, "Where are you from?" And she says, "The Bronx." And then you had nothing even to say.
Yeah, I said, cool, I have a cousin in the Bronx. It's kind of a bit I do where I do bad crowd work intentionally. Think about that.
Do good crowd work.
Nothing to think
Well,
about.
I'd be like, oh, hey, that's a nice shirt. And they'll go, thanks. And I'll go, so where are you from? And then I go to
All
a
right.
different person.
All right, Dan. Come on in here, Dan. I need you all the way in here.
All the way.
Get it in all the way, Dan.
Chris, come on.
This is why your fucking periscopes are so disgusting.
And
They're dope.
It might be the last one that you're doing.
and I'm paraded about.
No,
Yeah.
you're not.
Every orifice
No.
is up for
I
grabs.
don't want to say it again, but I will ban anyone who talks about Gail's mouth, pussy, or ass.
My
Dan,
mouth pussy.
I'm going to do a parody of something on stage. I'm going to purposely do bad crowd work. Is that a good idea or a ridiculous idea?
I would say it's a ridiculous idea.
It doesn't make sense. No one caught on to the subtlety that
Yeah.
you were making fun of, I guess, Big J. Okerson?
No, not at all.
Is that what you were doing?
No.
Why are you then acting like the act of crowd work is ridiculous?
What's your fucking deal?
It's an art form.
I've done this bit a few times before. Each time it's gone off without a hitch.
You're not in the basement of the Gotham.
I know.
You're not working next to mops and fucking old empty kegs and whatever else is in the basement of Gotham.
Empties.
Yeah, a lot of empties. But I've done this bit, and what I do, I like to go around, and it's a system of threes where I go to three people in the crowd, and I like to go, hey, or this is the part of the show where I do crowd work.
But you didn't say that.
No, I didn't say that.
And you just said, where are you from? She said Brooklyn. You said,
Yeah.
she said the Bronx, and you said, and moved on.
I like that Joe renamed the rule of threes system of threes to try to brand it as his own.
Again, I'm doing new things. I'm trying to break down barriers.
You're doing the same thing, and the barriers are got even higher during that.
Yeah, I'm trying to go underneath
When people
them.
go, I'm going to do anti-comedy, that's the same as saying I'm not going to be funny. There's no difference.
It can be painful to watch someone try to do, and I wouldn't put Joe in this group, but
I already do. But go ahead. Before I even find out about the group, he's in.
Someone aspiring to be like Andy Kaufman, anti-comedy sort of thing, when there's only one Andy Kaufman and everyone else, you're just a dude singing
And
along
by the
to
way,
Mighty Mouse for no reason.
Let me tell you something. If
Yes.
you do go to a giant fucking hall, Carnegie Hall, for instance, and the comedian comes out and sits down and starts to read fucking Moby Dick, you're pissed.
Yeah.
You got fucking pissed. It's not fucking funny on any level.
Great book, though. Well, I mean, maybe I don't want to be an Andy Kaufman. Maybe I just want to be a Joey Jojo.
Joey Jojo.
A Joey Jojo Bennington,
respect that.
you know? Be my own
Dude,
thing.
they went fucking crazy for you last night.
Yeah.
I loved it.
You could have fucking. But when you left, did you feel bad about your set, or did you feel good?
I felt mad that I had forgotten material. I was just because I had a whole list that I wrote down.
Yes, we saw you in your phone.
And I was like,
He was crushing for most of it. The one then that thing threw him off, and then List's comment about his bowling shoes also got him.
that's true. I'm wearing those shoes right now.
You're supposed to return the shoes.
You know what? This is fucking funny.
Yeah.
I didn't remember that was you. I thought that was one of the other nuts. Because that fucking line did make me laugh hard.
Joe List had another joke that I couldn't remember if it was you, or Phil. And when he said,
Are you a weird Indian?
he said,
Oh yeah.
next time you look at notes, maybe it should be someone else's.
Oh yeah, that was Phil. It wasn't me.
fucking Joe List is a fucking sniper. I would send him out. I would fucking send him out with nothing but some small rations and his gun and say, kill Putin. And I'd go to bed that night going, I don't know when it's going to be, but Putin's dead.
He's gone.
We got him.
This was so fucking funny.
Yeah, he had a lot of great lines. At one point, one of the comics was up, and they go, "Hey, maybe you should lose that serial killer laugh." And then Joe List goes, "Yeah, but keep that serial killer look."
Yes. Jerry Lolly, shut down.
Jerry Lolly.
That's the king.
Yeah.
Jerry Lolly.
The other thing I pointed out to Joe is he had one joke, the Ben Carson one, where it was like a basketball thing, and the math did not add up.
Yeah, I realized
at all.
that immediately.
Can you do that?
Yeah, certain polls suggest that Ben Carson's the head of Donald Trump in Iowa right now. Or has been by 14 points, or as Ben Carson likes to put it, I said 10 jump shots and a layup.
Which is 22 points.
Yeah. But, he's not the brightest bulb. He's just a surgeon, that all.
Yeah.
I should have fucking followed it with that.
Well, so the joke is Carson can't do math.
Yeah.
And it's like a bonus joke.
I should have kept going.
There you go.
We were too busy not laughing to do our own fucking math. But this is I think the thing that threw Joe off the most is that the crowd went wild for him. Because your fucking eyeballs look like an owl when you came walking out. You were like, why are they doing this?
Like, did they know me? They know me, though.
They went crazy for you.
They went nuts.
What threw me off, is when Voss, he said, hey, maybe you should talk about your life. And I was like, oh yeah, I got a political joke in my back pocket. I'll just say that right now. And this will kill, because I had the crowd on my side. And then they can't all be winners, I guess.
But that had no connection to what he said, though.
Yeah, I know.
He said, talk about your life, and you're like, I'll do the Ben Carson joke.
Who's got an album coming out tomorrow?
Mike Racine.
Now, Mike has been trying to reach you and says he can't.
I'm going to reach out to him. I haven't got any emails from Mike.
Yeah, you have. He's actually even tweeting. I don't know why Chris is ignoring me.
Well, then, Mike, I'm not ignoring. I'm going to talk
what about the fucking asshole that was fucking tweeting that you wouldn't get back to him and you gave him tickets?
Yeah.
And yet we never have ever had everyone show up who said they were going to.
Everyone
like we
on
did.
the list showed up.
And then a couple came in and actually told me that they broke in and they had the time of their life.
That's awesome.
We had to bring out extra bar stools and steel folding chairs from other dining halls.
It actually made the show look even better. You know what I mean?
Yeah, there were people sitting on the cushions that were like behind the Bennington banner, and we were like, "We're sorry, you guys can't see." They're like, "No, this is great!" Like they were just loving it.
Well, I got to do my Guys and Dolls shoe joke off of that, which, but that was a great pair of shoes that dude was wearing. God, that was a fun night. But I need you to go home and make something, putting your soul into it, and then send it to Kathleen from the Bronx.
Okay.
Because if not, she's going to put a hex on you, my friend.
I do not want a hex from
And
Kathleen
she's got
from
some
the
real
Bronx.
witchy magic, so.
She's like Rihanna from the song. She is
Yeah.
a white witch.
She is.
Well, the Irish people are very, what would you call that type of thing? Is it a Wiccan thing from Ireland?
Yeah,
or
there's
is
they've got their own little pagan sort of stuff that they do.
Yeah.
Some sort of Celtic pagan, I believe, sect of.
Hold on, Liam just sent this to me that Peaches is back.
What?
And wants to take that girl on a ride through Central Park.
What? I hope that means sex. I hope that means sex.
No, wait, he just wrote back, psych. I
Damn
got
it.
her again.
No, Liam!
Oh, Liam, you fuck. You hold on. Yeah, click me in, would you?
Yeah.
Take yours out, click mine in.
Yeah.
I do that to people when I go to a gas station. I just take the hose out of their car. I put them in mine. I go, I'm really lower than you right now.
Is this unleaded? I only use premium.
I'm straight leaded, 100%. I don't care what it does to the engine. I just let it up. I like to get the lead out, if you know what I'm saying.
I know.
I think the rockers do. Every night, 7 o'clock, get the lead out. except for the nights that we're doing mandatory Metallica.
Do not interrupt mandatory Metallica.
So thanks to all the people who sent cigars. And is Shreka bringing her friend?
Courtney, yes.
I almost said girlfriend, but I'm trying to break myself out of that.
Why?
Because it leads to a lot of confusion.
2015.
I still say it all the time, and I have confused people, many people over the years.
Well, in my neighborhood, if you said two girls, you would go, "Oh, is your girlfriend coming with you?" without it meaning sexual.
Yeah. I had this experience where I had told an old coworker, was telling her a story about when I went to Italy, and I was like, yeah, I went to Italy with my girlfriend, and we were there for like a month, and it was amazing. I was telling her and referred to her as my girlfriend several times. 6 months later, they're like, I thought you were gay. I was like, what? He's like, yeah, I heard you say something about your boyfriend. I had to go to one of our other coworkers. Is she straight now, or what happened?
She's cheating on Italy girl?
Italy girl. That's all.
I don't think anyone would call me straight.
I don't think anybody would call anyone on this fucking floor straight.
No.
Not after some of the things that were said about Phil last night by quite a few people that wanted to have sex with him after the fact.
Who, though?
I don't know. One said he would tear off his cock and then just start fucking what was ever left behind.
That was me. I said that, yeah.
Well, Joe, why didn't you close with that?
Shut up.
Because I saw that murdering.
I fucked up. I forgot.
So I was telling Dan, I said this off air, right? His way of coming in and curating those comics so perfectly is why I don't worry about him with some of these big production deals coming his way, because that's a producing job. Like a really smart, when you're producing, you're thinking of the entire subject. If you would have thought of like, could Lewis have fucking thought of 6? No way. He would have just brought 6 dudes and then try to shut them down himself. You know what I mean? Comics never think that way. You think like a comic, but then you also think big picture.
Well, thank you, first of all. But it was clear, like, Jerry's the clear opener. You got to have Phil close. You throw Rachel in the middle. Yeah, it was a great mix, a hodgepodge.
And you did that, even losing your
talents.
black dude and another white dude.
That's fine.
Yeah.
We don't need them.
We doubled down on Asians. We got a ginger in there.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the girl that you
Freddie G.
brought up that the guys were really fond of, where did she come from? She a Manhattan girl? Or?
Yeah, she's a Manhattan girl. Yeah, she does the stuff at Metropolitan Room, which is linked to Gotham sometimes. Yeah.
I know that because Jeffrey is a Metropolitan girl.
Yes, Jeffrey made a beeline for her after the event.
Oh, of course he did.
I'm guessing she might show up in the column.
Yeah, she asked for my email.
Did she really?
Yeah, it's not a big deal. But then she also asked for Jam Band's email, too, so I'm not even taking her.
Oh, so
She's
what's
just
going
throwing
on?
her
Maybe she was
email
asking
out.
about the show that you work for rather than your own social life.
Oh, well, she said, hey, maybe we can hang out at my open mic one day.
Is that what she said?
Yeah.
Well, you're a fucking, you went up as a comic.
Yeah.
She charges $5 for
Does
her
she?
open mic, so she just wants.
She told me 6.
What about Jam
Why
Band,
would
though? What
she
happened
charge
there?
$5?
There are these horrible paid open mics that they like trick newer people into doing because they don't
Bringers?
know any better. Yeah,
This-
bringer kind of that shit.
Why don't you go? I'll give you the $5. Go down there.
Yeah, see
All
what
right.
happens.
Expensive.
I'll
But
do
do
it.
me a favor. Throw all your comedy out.
Okay.
And just talk about yourself, your
Yeah.
life, your hopes, your dreams.
Who's Joe?
Okay.
Who is Joe?
Yeah.
Look within.
I can do all of that.
But what scares you about doing that? Why are you writing your wordplay jokes?
It's just never, ever been my style. I never identified with it. When I was in high school, I started writing these one-liners because my idol was Mitch Hedberg.
Right.
So I wanted to be exactly like him.
Yeah.
And, he talks about his life kind of.
I think that's fair. I mean, like, Carlin's probably the best ever. You wouldn't know much about his personal life from anything he talked about.
Let me think about that for a second. I think there's probably, this whole thing about being totally truthful seems like the exact opposite of art to me. Like it always needs a filter of some kind,
Right.
either to blow it up or make it smaller. But what I felt like I knew Carlin the whole time. See, I think because he talked about his childhood and stuff like that, I felt like I knew who Carlin was.
A little bit, but you wouldn't talk about his daughter. He wouldn't talk about like he had a wife for all those years, died of breast cancer. He did all this drug use and stuff. He didn't talk about that, and it didn't matter. I didn't care.
That's a really
I didn't
good,
think I have to hear that.
But I do.
Best.
I am a believer of keeping things in your life precious. That certain people didn't show up for it. Like when people didn't know that, would always ask me about kids. I never thought it was anybody's business because I wouldn't want someone to discuss my life if I wasn't the one doing it.
Right.
But a lot of this thing where it's become like reality fucking TV, which by the way is also false. The Kardashians are performing. They're not. That's not their life. It isn't.
Right.
Who's ever done reality TV? It's not their life. You don't even know Anthony Bourdain for real. Right. You know Anthony Bourdain, the performer.
Right. It's all a performance.
And he probably says, I can't believe I got to go to work right now to his wife. You know what I mean? Like it's not like he's the exactly the same. By the way, I heard that the other guy is mad at him, the fucking
Guy Fieri.
Yeah.
Yeah, because Bourdain's like busts his balls like for years. He just uses Guy Fieri as a punchline, and then finally Guy Fieri talked about it and I think to GQ, and it's like, what the fuck is Bourdain's problem? Basically, get off my dick. Like, why am I the fucking guy? You're like basically saying that he's being bullied by Bourdain.
And weirdly, this makes Fieri look worse. You know what I mean? Like it's almost like the Hillary thing,
right?
Like Fieri, your life is so good. You can't sit around and worry about Bourdain. You should be busting his balls back.
Fire back.
There's plenty to bust Bourdain's balls.
So much.
Look at us. We get attacked all the time by Jenny Hutt and her producer. And what do? We rise above it.
Jenny
we take
Butt.
it. And Jenny Butt's a good one.
Jenny Butt makes me sick. Sup, Scope Bros?
Is that the only people you're talking to? Is your Scope Bros now?
For this.
So now the listeners are Scope Bros too.
Doesn't make sense.
When he says certain words, he just like puts himself on Periscope, whether he loads the app or not.
Love me some Periscope.
Yeah, we know.
You're on tomorrow, right?
10:45 a.m.
Do you have a guest tomorrow?
No one booked as of right now. Would you like to be the guest? I mean, we could just make this the announcement show.
Well, I definitely am. I'm going to stop by to do an announcement.
Okay.
Honestly, don't know if I can carry a whole Smoking with Chris. I mean, that fucking show is only for hardcore smokers. Your tiny puffs, go by quickly.
No, I'd chain it. I'd chain smoke it.
I'd like to see Denny on your show tomorrow, 10:45.
Oh, that would be great.
I tried to book Denny. He said he can't come on. He quit smoking 14 years ago.
I wish I'd known him before.
I know, right? I'm like, where the fuck were you and Periscope?
Maybe tomorrow is the day that we have Denny and Lauren down the hall and for our...
Oh, that'll be fun.
At our, for the corn test, as I like to call it, instead of contest.
Delicious.
We will play everything from the other night and more next on Thanksgiving Day.
That's right.
And Friday. Is everybody leaving town, or? Well, I guess you don't leave town, do you?
Yeah, I'll be around for most. Yeah.
Who do you get together with for Thanksgiving?
I'll be spending Thanksgiving with my sister, actually.
Oh, that's nice.
Something.
Is this an older or younger sister?
Younger sister. Yeah.
I'd love to meet your sister.
Yeah.
I'll bring her around. Yeah.
It'll be great. And she's still in school?
She's just finished school.
What'd she get her degree in?
She did photography, and so
that's nice.
Does some stuff for like editing, retouching photos for a company.
Photography has changed since everybody's got their phones.
Yes.
Everyone feels like a photographer, but when you see a really good picture, it's night and day, isn't it?
It's crazy.
Yeah. It's night and day.
It was so cool. Yeah, she had a book that was in like the New York Art Book Fair, and from all that stuff. And it's kind of one thing that's kind of sad is like she works so hard taking her photos and stuff, but then if you're just like a hot girl on Instagram, you have like 10 times as many followers, even though it's just like.
Well, the same thing is too of like anything in life. Periscope's the same way, that if some girl is just sitting there and they're writing, show me bobs. Is it the thing that you're not allowed to write boobs on Periscope?
Yeah, they're very, very protective of like making sure no one's genitals or breasts are out there anyway. So they don't want anyone talking about that shit.
Yeah, but
I've seen
people
it,
do say stuff like that. I mean, people.
Yeah.
Why are they saying Bob's if people are asking about my pussy and stuff?
They won't be asking about your pussy ass your mouth anymore. Okay?
I'm trying to think of who I saw on Periscope yesterday that I got off a map. My fucking brain just turned into sponge cake.
Like a famous
No,
person?
somebody we know, I think.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I had that experience when Dan did his comedians playing football.
Oh, yeah?
And I stumbled across his Periscope because I was in Brooklyn and it was in McCarran Park.
That's right. Most Saturdays we play.
Was it Go Pack Joe?
Are you okay, dude?
Mafia Life
Sickness.
Chris.
Did you say moth? Your life?
Morphia.
I got Dayquil though.
This is not the morphia.
Is that what you're drinking?
Oh, please, I can't watch him do it. It makes me so
I thought it was
sick.
orange juice.
No,
this
it's
is,
so, look at,
This is Dayquil.
we're outside and he literally is in the middle of talking to me, takes that out of his jacket like some sort of crazy hobo, like he's drinking from a flask, and he just hits it and is chugging Dayquil. I almost threw up. I
Gotta
almost was
suppress this
sick.
cough, bros.
It's so disgusting the way he did it.
When I
can't
was
explain it.
a little kid, fucking older guys would always drink cough medicine that had codeine in it. I think there was an over-the-counter called Romalar. So we go down to the basketball court to play, me and my little friends. And, you know, there was older guys there, and one of them was drinking it. And he climbed up on the fucking basketball thing on the backboard and then tried to go down through the fucking basket and kind of was stuck in his hips. He was hanging upside down. And I remember thinking, oh, these guys are so cool. Romalar, huh? Someday.
What was the...
Someday I'm going to get some of that for myself.
It's just as it's incredibly popular today still. Just codeine cough syrup. People fucking love it.
What was the old West version of that? It was like the cough syrup.
Oh, that they used to have in the old times?
Laudanum? Is that what it was
Yeah,
called?
it might have been.
Where it was like...
cocaine and fucking morphine and all kinds of things.
Yeah,
in
it was like they were giving it out like, you know, like a cough suppressant
Yeah,
or
it
something.
was
And it was an epidemic with especially like women, housewives and stuff like that. They would just be like, oh, I have a cough.
Well, that goes to show you, like, it isn't just, modern that people like to get fucked up.
No.
It's, all time. Here's Jim wants to bring up George Carlin. Go ahead, Jim.
Oh, hey. Just had a comment about the George Carlin thing.
Yeah.
Actually, there's a lot more in his material about that's biographical than you might think at first. I was texting with Kelly about her book. I'd read her book, and stuff like, in particular, the thing that comes to mind is the thing about a place for your stuff. Apparently, he was like kind of manic about organizing shit, and would get kind of coked out and like put out his collection of nuts and bolts and sort them all and stuff like that. But you would never like get that from listening to the humor. I mean, it's just kind of oblique in a way. But
you're saying there's clues in there. Well, Dan, like I said, I thought I knew, Carlin from his work, but then Dan brought up the fact of he didn't talk about, wife and children and all that. But I think he did talk about himself. I don't think like he would ever say something that he didn't believe. You know what I mean? Like,
Right.
I don't think that he would go in a joke in an opposite direction of what he actually believed. But
that sounds right, yeah.
But Dan is correct that he didn't, you'll see the comedian like, my daughter's 12 now and guys are starting to come around. I'm going to have to knock them out. And you're like,
reaching that age where
yeah. I'm not sure, but you're like, yeah. Well, that's true.
But that's how he did it so well. Like, A Place for My Stuff's one of my favorite bits ever that anyone's done, because that's just like the whole message of that is just like fuck consumerism, but it's just packaged in this silly, fun, like incredibly well written, well performed way, just broken down perfectly. I don't know.
He was such a great and thoughtful, comedian, and also a very silly, fucking very, very silly man. Because I remember seeing My Beard Ain't It Weird being one of the funniest things to me when I was a little kid. Don't be scared; it's just a beard. I'm like, what the fuck is this dude talking about? I always thought, like, when I was a little kid, that adults that acted like little kids were hilarious. Like, that's like the first thing that you like is really silly adults. You're like, oh, this fucking guy's great. He's fucking acting like an adult should act, like me.
I got it right.
Yeah. This guy's fucking shows that they're all fake. Because I remember when I was a kid, I'm like, why do they fucking give a shit about this stuff so much? They just go on and on about it. But Carlin, it's very funny that you look at two guys that basically started about the same time, and people are still 1 and 2 on them, no matter what the fucking poll is.
Yeah.
I think Cosby probably used to be number 3, and he's fallen now. Anyone who would even vote for them is considered someone who would drug and rape women.
I mean, you still got to, for the work.
Put a dent in watching himself.
Actually, this last stuff that he did with the Trouble and All, probably the first time I laughed at him in 30 years. I never liked the Cosby Show. I wouldn't watch it. You didn't grow up with the Cosby Show. I wouldn't fucking put it on TV. It just seemed creepy to me. And I don't mean it. It just felt like somebody had their finger pointed at you, telling you how to live your life. I don't fucking need to be educated. It's fucking 8 o'clock at night. Bring me some titty jokes, my friend. Come and knock at my door. Honey, get in here. They think he's gay. Number one, he wasn't gay, right?
No.
But he never banged either one of his 2 chick roommates. What the fuck are you then, Jack Dripper?
Asexual? Pedophile?
Is that even a thing, asexual?
People say they say there's like groups that say, yeah, we don't want to fuck anyone. We never want to.
I used to try to convince Fez to choose asexual so he felt like he was winning.
Yeah.
And then I go, if you want to drop out of asexual, be gay. Then the pressure won't be on you.
I met a dude who he wasn't asexual, but he said he wasn't attracted to men or women, but he would still masturbate to just random flesh. Like he would just imagine skin, and that would get him off. But
serial killer.
No sort of genitals
if I had
of any
to
kind.
think about what goes through people's minds that they fucking jack to, I'd probably fucking end up joining ISIS.
Oh, yeah.
I might anyway.
The amount of just weird.
No, you know why? I would
things to do.
Because no one would ever see it coming.
No!
And they'd be like, I used to fucking listen to that dude's show.
You cut someone's head off last week on YouTube.
I saw it on Scope.
But the amount of weird fetishes out there that you would not even consider to be a fetish, like you didn't realize it wasn't on your
like
radar.
the balloons and shit like that.
Yeah, like that kind of shit. And I had somebody explain to me their fetish that I don't know why, but it was just like the most creepy thing to me. But he said that he has this weird thing where he looks forward to the warm weather. And, immediately you're thinking, oh, yeah, because women are wearing less clothes. And, of course, everybody likes that. Everyone's skin is out. No. For him, he likes when it is cold. You can drink an iced drink because his fetish is watching women enjoy drinking cold drinks from a straw. And he says that he feels like it's like people walking around with their tits out to him. And he's like, he likes iced coffee, but most specifically, he loves watching women drink smoothies. And he's like, come summertime, women are just walking down the street.
So he's just like staking out Jamba Juices.
Yeah.
And stuff, just
I mean, why would he ever go anywhere else?
And he was like, I love watching women, like they're enjoying it. It's, I guess, probably oral because they're, like they're sucking on this. Yeah. They're playing with it. They're talking with the straw, and it's crazy to him. And he's explaining to me this whole thing, and then he's like, "Is that weird?" And I'm like, "Yeah, it's fucking really weird."
Why would you be rough on him?
It's so fucking gross. I don't know why. You're a weirdo, and now I'll never talk to you again.
But the thing is that's not really necessarily grosser than feet.
No, it really,
it's just
really
less
isn't.
common.
Like, that's just the funny thing is everybody's walking around with these little things, and you might not even think of it as a fetish. It's just like this thing that you're like, I don't know what it is about that.
If you have more than one fetish, is that feti?
It's a feti. So many feti.
It's a fun game to play if you want to, that I've played with my friends, of like, if you just search a keyword, that you'll find people that get off to that thing. So we search like old grandpa toes, and there's just videos of just the grandfather's feet, and you just see in the comments like, I just came all over the keyboard.
One time, I forget what it was, a lost bet. So Eastside Dave and Fez, I forgot what we did with them. They had to fucking pull their underwear up to their armpits, and they rubbed against each other.
Beard porn. It was beard porn.
So they both had beards, right? And they were rubbing against each other. So we're fucking falling out laughing. It goes up on YouTube or wherever the fuck shitty place it goes up. But some gay porn site picked it up, and someone called us and said, "Oh, they're in there on some kind of furry, fucking
bears."
Yeah. So we go there, and we're fucking cracking up, and we thought, that the gays would fucking rip them to shreds. Gays loved them. They were like, it looks like these two rascally boys are enjoying themselves. And like Dave was doing like stupid looks at. I mean, it's fucking turn it up a little bit too, so you could just see what we're doing. Why does it look like a movie?
It does, very 1970s.
Look how he's wearing his.
His face.
I know, it's hilarious. Dave's face is so funny in this. Put this up on Twitter too. Look at Fez. Like how Dave's not reacting to him. These guys are fucking fantastic actors.
This is incredible.
This is amazing.
His face.
Dave. But the beard porn people thought this was just great. They just like. Did we put this out to look like an old CinemaScope?
I don't remember that happening.
Somebody must have done that.
Yeah, it looks fantastic.
So uncomfortable.
Why?
But for millions of people, this is their women drinking from a straw. Millions.
I'm shocked if there's millions. I mean, these guys couldn't. These guys couldn't get laid in prison.
Check the comments, maybe. See how many people quote "just came" on their keyboards.
What is this face that Dave is making? What is that face?
I remember what we did. We put this out on. Here's what we did on April the 1st. We put this video out as full frontal naked Jennifer Aniston. The first people were like, I can't believe she's doing full frontal, just to fucking piss off the listeners. Somebody else, I remember now, I'm sitting here thinking, put out a version of Anthony with guns in the corner.
There are a lot of remixes of this one.
Here's JR's got a question for you. Chris, go ahead, JR.
Chris Stanley.
What's up?
I just want to congratulate you. Are you fucked up today, or are you fiending, or are you detoxing? Because you're having one of the best shows you've ever had.
I'm just being me, I'm kind of sick. I've been drinking a lot of Dwayquil. Does that mean anything?
What's Dwayquil?
Dwayquil. Lester of the Dwayquil.
Keep it up, Pepper Hicks. You're doing a hell of a job.
Guess I'll be buying more Dwayquil.
I can't give him any fucking one good thing today because he trolled so bad. And I know you didn't mean a thing that you said. I know you didn't.
I am not a troll. This is a troll-free zone.
No, you're lying again. That's extra trolling.
There's no bridges here.
When you said Trent Dilfer was better than fucking Dan Marino, no human being believes that, including Trent Dilfer.
Even Dilfy wouldn't say that.
Scott, Strong Island.
Hey, what's up, Ronnie B?
Hey, man.
Just calling to thank you for the show last night. It was one of the best times I've ever had. And listening to you guys today, I just can picture everybody, and really, it was a wonderful time. And thank you for taking the time to take pictures with everybody after the show.
Well, it was really, really fun for us, but I also have to say, and we talked about it, the entire team killed today. There was not. It's almost impossible to put off a night like that and not have a couple things that piss you off. But just to see the way the reaction to not only all the players on the show getting big hands, but then you turn around and they went crazy when we brought out the Puerto Rican rattlesnake.
Crazy.
The real ass dude.
The ultimate minority. Louis J. Gomez. Rock God.
Rock God.
Rock God.
Rock God.
Joe List, your name is on my list. Rock God.
Rock God.
Rock God.
Dan Soder, who I was very proud of the introduction I gave him. And I'm like, he's doing a brand new special, and he's half the bonfire, and the place started going crazy. And I'm like, no, not that half. It's Dan Soder. Dan Soder, Rock God.
Rock God.
Rock God.
Rock God.
And then, you know what? The man who brought it all with a very fanciful gentleman's hat. I knew he was going to kill on that show. When he agreed to do it, I'm like, even though he's going to struggle, I'm wondering what the premise is. He's going to give in and kill. Rich Voss, Rock God.
Rock God.
Rock God.
And I said this before earlier today. I don't care if I was making a list of my favorite comedians. I don't care how long or short the list is going to be. Rich Voss's name is going to be on that list.
Praise be to Rock God.
He is a rock god.
Love those dudes. They killed it.
Yeah, they slayed.
They were great.
No, I'll tell you this. Those comics, if we do it again, do we do it with them or do we try more new comics? Just to see whether the premise works outside of that rock goddom.
It's hard to imagine it not with those four dudes because they ended up being so perfectly matched. Like there was like they each had like a different corner, like they were coming at it with different angles. It's fucking great.
All right, let's do this. Dan, who's somebody that you would like to see in the mentor role?
Keith Robinson.
Great name. Chris.
Kurt Metzger.
Damn. That was mine. That's so weird.
Chris, why would you take hers?
Why did you go?
I'm sorry.
By the way, I saw Metzger the other night do the "What's Your Fucking Deal" thing.
Yeah.
And he's an amazing in that fucking role. I mean, he just slayed. And I was sitting kind of back towards the green room, but I wasn't in the green room. I'm on the other side of the wall. And Metzger goes barreling back. 5 seconds later, I could just the pungent vape that was coming through the wall. 5 seconds before he started to vape hard.
Jesus Christ!
There is a city full of vapors right now.
It's a vape. It's a vape town.
It's a vape town for sure.
But let me tell you the difference. Okay, and I'll put this out there. Me and my friends used to get together to get high as a party. I don't see people doing that anymore. These guys vape as a maintenance on reality.
Yeah, you're just going about your day. I guess I'll hit the vape right now. Like,
Yeah.
no matter what you're doing, you could be buying something in the store, walking on the street, or at work, and you just hit it.
Now I never see the vape as a non-marijuana vape. Like, remember when the vape first came out?
Yeah.
You're thinking this guy's trying to smoke cigarettes? I don't believe that's true anymore.
It's mostly hash oil. It's mostly hash oil or bud, depending
All
on
right,
your
did you notice somebody snuck a vape in here the other day?
No.
That I was interviewing?
No. Who was vape?
I didn't see the vape.
I'll just say Chicago Med and leave it at that.
Oh!
Now, while I was talking to him, he took it out and just hit it small, and I'm like, I thought to myself, is that marijuana or are you, trying to quit smoking? We never know these days.
It could be anything because they don't really smell.
Hey, Bob, what's up, buddy?
Hey, how y'all doing?
I'm just envious of all the fans that live close enough that they got to go to that show last night. It sounded like an awesome thing.
It really was out of this world.
A lot of people flew in.
Out of this world.
Have a great day.
Bye. Bye, Trucker Bob.
I have another name for a possible comic for Comedy 101.
Okay.
Tom Segura.
Really?
Oh, that'd be great.
Because I was going to go the other route and go Bert Kreischer.
Well, first of all, I'd have either one of them guys do anything. But I wonder if Segura, I don't see the West Coast guys, I don't see as being as vicious as the New York comedians.
But he's very quick.
He's incredibly quick.
What about someone who had some wine last time he was in here? Nick DiPaolo.
Nick DiPaolo would be perfect,
Natural. He needed a wine.
And we always have wine on hand.
You're getting sicker now.
I'm sick, yes. Need more Dayquil.
Dwayquil.
Dwayquil.
You gotta get that Dwayquil. It's pretty great.
Someone who was texting me in a panic. He didn't have a vape, but he desperately wanted to smoke was the other Asian, Brian Kim. He's sending me frantic texts during the first segment. I'm saying, like, you got to stay in the room. He's like, oh, I just need to smoke. I need to smoke. I got to smoke. So if he was a little off his game.
Rob. Go ahead, Rob.
Hey, guys, great show last night. Really enjoyed it.
Thanks.
Fantastic. I'm just wondering, why don't you guys have your own channel? Sirius gives channels to everybody.
Like who?
There's a huge list. I mean, come on.
Tell me one.
Oh, what? The Foxhole? I mean, what's that?
Well, I mean, it's no different. It's the exact same thing as Raw Dog, but they just put his name on it. I don't think it's that. Our lives wouldn't change if this was called the Bennington channel.
Dog.
No. Yeah,
Raw
the
Bennington?
We got to keep dog.
Yeah, it doesn't make. Yeah, I mean,
I'm just saying you guys deserve it. That's what I'm saying.
yeah, I mean, it would be different if you say, "Well, we get more replays." That would be one thing, but
that too. I mean,
yeah.
I mean, because as soon as your show ends, you can't really listen to it unless you flip over to at midnight.
Well, we have on demand.
On demand. We're in the app.
Demand that shit.
Yeah, but you don't know. I don't always have time to do from the car. I mean, you can't always. It's a lot more accessible for you guys to just be able to have your channel, and you can.
Yeah, I mean, it would be a lot more acceptable if it ran constantly, but
Well, either that or kind of like what Opie does. I mean, he runs other stuff and whatever, but it'd be a little more accessible if it restarted maybe after you guys, maybe an hour or two after you guys finish or something like that. So I don't know.
So when does it go up every day?
It goes up from, we have one replay on Opie Radio from midnight until 3 a.m. And then
No, I
another
want
one
you
on
on demand.
on demand? It's usually up by no later than 5 p.m.
Yeah, so within 2 hours, you could hear it again.
Well, anyway, I'm sure there's a lot of other people out there like me, just kind of wish that somebody could just pop it on, have your own channel. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, great show last night. Fantastic. I mean, I can't wait to hear it on Thanksgiving, I suppose you're going to run it, so I can't wait to hear it.
Thanksgiving and then the next day.
And it'll be available on demand.
I'm never not going to be listening to it.
I know. I'm going to listen to it constantly. All right, we got to wrap this one up. But again, great job, everybody.
That was so much fun, guys.
It was amazing. Really, really terrific.
Can't wait for the next one.
Well, you're going to have to.
I cannot.
You're going to have to wait.
I can't be expected to wait.
Next time I want to have somebody perform, and I'd love for it to be Peaches. Can you talk to her? I know that she follows you.
I know. Can you believe it? What's happening between us? I don't know. It's all happening so fast. I'm so excited. I'm in that new phase where you just meet and you're getting to know each other. And,
madly in love.
What's going to happen between us? I don't know.
Chris, we got anything to plug? We're going to be on Opie Radio tomorrow morning. As you complain you can't hear us enough, we'll be on first thing in the morning on Opie Radio,
7 a.m.
Double trouble style too.
And then, of course, after Smoking with Chris,
10:45 a.m. Follow at the iBang on Twitter and Periscope.
All right, that's it for us today. Great job, everybody, and we'll see you all again in 1974.
Ladies and gentlemen, the evening is over. We hope you all enjoyed yourselves, and we'll see you all again in 1974. Good evening!